So many possible worlds, but we got this one. So many possible worlds, but we got this one.
Welcome to the Worst of All Possible Worlds, the first and only reality TV podcast. I'm the worst of all possible Joshes.
I'm the worst of all possible AJs.
And I'm the worst of all possible Bryants. I don't know why AJ was just screaming like
I've
that.
had a lot to drink, okay?
And this week, we're going to be taking a look at some wonderful women who drink too much regularly and go on TV and yell about it in the form of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And to talk with us about that topic, we brought on a subject matter expert. She's a comedian, podcaster, and storyteller who specializes in taking unserious things seriously, which is also what we do here. She's the host of the podcast Hot Mess-Terpiece Theatre, which digs into iconic reality television moments. And she's also the co-author of the book How to Be Fine, What We Learned from Living by the Rules of 50 Self-Help Books. Welcome to the show, Jolenta Greenberg.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for coming on and being our Andy Cohen, ready to open up all the old wounds.
That's
of our
right.
podcast.
That's right.
The reunion podcast.
Let's dig into some beefs.
Our listeners do a thing where they timestamp the first time in an episode where we mention dramaturgs or dramaturgy.
Oh my God.
Because it happens
Really?
almost all the time.
I love
because,
Yes, actually.
I have been a dramaturg in the past, mostly just for AJ. But now we're getting it out of the way right here at the beginning because you are a dramaturg.
I have billed myself as a reality TV dramaturg of sorts. Yes. Yeah.
So talk more about that. What is being a reality TV dramaturg, and what is it about reality television that you find so dramaturgically interesting?
It's about getting into the sort of cultural context of why we are telling these stories and why we like them so much. And they're kind of, they're messy, they're swearing, they're drunk, but there's a lot of similarities between what goes on Real Housewives as in Shakespeare or Chekhov.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Chekhov is filled with messy bitches who live for drama.
Right,
They're
yeah.
like some of the freakiest people in theater. And I think that if I've not watched a lot of Real Housewives, this is my first experience in the Real Housewives verse. But if they're all like this, these are some of the freakiest people on television.
Oh, yeah.
Your history with Real Housewives specifically, Jolenta, was this sort of the reality TV series that got you started, or was it something else?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I liked Survivor like the rest of us, early
Yeah,
on.
of course.
So of course that's pretty much everyone's first reality TV. It was one of the first big ones here. I really liked Bravo because I was coming from the theater world. I liked
Right.
Bravo for Inside the Actors Studio and the Cirque du Soleil performances they would play when they had nothing else to air. So then they're like, oh, and here's this documentary about women and how they live. And I'm like, great, arts and entertainment, here we come. And then I was like, wait, this is not what I expected, but I also love it.
Imagine James Lipton doing the Andy role at the reunion, right? Being the one asking the questions. That would be incredible.
I would genuinely love to
What
be
is
like,
your favorite curse word?
Taylor, when you get to the pearly gates.
Yeah, exactly. What are you going to
What
say
are you
to
going
God?
to say to you? I was really struck by first of all, who all these housewives were married to and how famous they were. And also just that none of them worked for Blackwater. I was really anticipating at least one
That would be like Real Housewives of Ada, Michigan or something like that.
Yeah.
Which would be good.
What about Real Housewives of Potomac? Surely at least one of them is married to a defense contractor, right?
Well, I could be wrong about
that.
The
DC one did, but then what they did was they made a new show called Real Housewives of Potomac after the DC version flopped, and it's still set in the greater DC area.
Whatever. I
did
just
it
want a
flop for a
version of this
reason?
show that has Betsy DeVos.
Yeah,
Yes.
That's all I'm asking.
Yes, you're correct.
That's a good thing
Let's
to
talk
want.
a little bit about the history of Real Housewives as a
Right.
franchise, right? Because to get there, we have to first talk about the Bravo network, which you mentioned, Jolenta, home of Inside the Actors Studio and many other wonderful programs.
It was originally A&E also started the same way. It was
Right.
trying to be a channel about performances. And I think originally it was not exactly pay-per-view, but it was like the ultra premium kind of stuff.
I was in a cable-free household growing up mostly.
okay.
So we got cable when I was in high school, like right when that pivot happened in like 2000. So like right at the tail end of Cirque du Soleil.
Bravo as a network was originally a joint venture between Cablevision and Warner. And they were really positioning it as like very upmarket. We're going to do culture. We're going to be highbrow. And it's called Bravo because that's what you say when you go to a really great, show and you do a standing ovation. And in 2002, NBC acquired the Bravo network and immediately refocused their programming, like right away, as soon as the deal closed. And I have a quote here from early 2003. This is from Broadcasting and Cable, the trade magazine, which says, "We are going to do quite a bit more experimenting this year," promises Jeff Gaspin, NBC's head of alternative programming and now Bravo programming chief. His deputy is Bravo SVP of programming, Francis Berwick, a leftover from Bravo's Cablevision days who made the move to NBC. Gaspin, who programmed VH1 during its hot streak in the late 1990s, favors shows that grab attention, maybe even make headlines. To get there with Bravo, he's plotting original movies and series, theme weeks, and stunts. The first move is reality series Queer Eye for the Straight Guy, in which 5 gay men make over a straight man. It was one of 6 pilots he inherited from Bravo's previous owner and the only one that got the green light. "We want Bravo to stand for a certain point of view and attitude," Gaspin said. Arts and entertainment programming, he says, will remain a major component, but he wants to add dashes of style and pop culture programming. One example, he suggested, could be a special on the reality TV craze itself, albeit from a highbrow Bravo perspective. What makes these shows popular? What are the stars really like? Why do seemingly intelligent people agree to do such stupid things? It's important that Bravo not just be historical and so upscale and sophisticated that it doesn't tap into what the mass audience is interested in, Gaspin said.
They don't really hold on to the highbrow thing.
No.
But they do know that a significant part of their audience is homosexual men.
Yes.
And so we're going for the gays here.
Yep.
People don't remember the original Queer Eye.
The original one was a little mean. It was like, here you dumb straights, here's how to dress. Like,
Right. Well,
there was
here's
a
how
lot
to
more
clean
like,
yourselves.
There was a lot more roasting of the person and the person they're making over, and less like, we're all about love.
Well, a big piece of it, too, I remember at the time was there was this idea of the metrosexual, which was just a straight man who grooms himself,
And
know?
a lot of people said it was because of Queer Eye for the Straight Guy that the metrosexual came into being.
Right.
There was a South Park episode. I mean, there was like a not exactly a moral panic, but like there was a cultural panic around Queer Eye for the Straight Guy.
Right.
Where everyone's like, we're gonna make all of our men into homos. Also, one of the biggest reality shows, one of the things that I remember from this era, not from watching it because I didn't have Bravo, but from hearing about it, was they produced a dating show called Boy Meets Boy. Have you ever seen this?
I don't remember this
This
one.
is one of the
Very
most
short-lived, but
insane reality shows ever made, because it was like, it's going to be The Bachelor, but for gay guys. However, like 3 or 4 of the guys in the pack were actually straight.
Oh.
So they had these like secret heteros in the group.
And this is when they started dipping their toe into what they thought of as more like cultural reality programming. They started doing, they would air Kathy Griffin's stand-up specials and then a season of My Life on the D-List, sort of being like, what's it like? And I can see that being in line with that mission of theirs, of this, like, we're giving you a look behind the scenes at people who are somewhat elite.
So after this happens, after Bravo has like shifted focus and they're really up and running, right around the same time, 2004, GE, General Electric, which at the time is the parent company of NBC, acquires Universal.
I'm Jack Donaghy, new VP of Development for NBC GE Universal Kmart.
We own Kmart now.
No. So why are you dressed like we do?
And merges Universal into NBC. And one of the pieces of Universal's portfolio at this time is a network called Trio, which pretty much just aired CBC programming in the United States.
Oh, okay.
And one of the first things that the newly formed NBC Universal did was they chopped Trio and rolled it into Bravo. And this is where it gets really interesting. A certain executive at Trio, a man named Andy Cohen, is appointed Bravo's VP of Original Programming.
Oh, he was an executive?
Yes.
He was making programming that he thought he and his friends would find interesting, and he was sort of fanboying over these housewives that he created and then started moderating their reunions as a producer.
And then everybody saw these reunion specials and everyone was like, this guy is hilarious.
Yeah. We really
he's-
love this demon from hell. Let's keep putting him in front of the camera.
He's
he
such a
basically
demon.
gave himself a late night show, right? as head of programming.
Yeah, which my spouse was on once.
Amazing.
At the point then that he becomes the VP of Original Programming, it's very clear what he wants. And we start to see this pretty promptly. We get Project Runway, which continues to this day, although it's on Lifetime now.
Yeah, and they fucked with the format. It's very weird now.
Because in the old days, it's the only reality show that I like because it is focused on the actual thing that they're doing rather than the
It's
drama.
about skill.
But Andy Cohen, of course, being, as we have already stated, a messy bitch who lives for drama, his sort of signature stuff is this Real Housewives. And in January 2006, Reality TV World, which is a publication that is exactly what it sounds like, reports on a press release that Bravo has put out for a new show.
Bravo has announced that The Real Housewives of Orange County, its new reality documentary series, will premiere Tuesday, March 21st at 10 p.m. Eastern Pacific Time. Bravo continues to innovate in the reality TV genre with this riveting series exploring the complicated daily lives of 5 privileged women and their families. Bravo President Lauren Zalaznick stated in announcing the show's premiere date, "From Peyton Place to Desperate Housewives, viewers have been riveted by the fictional versions of such lifestyles on television. Now, here is a series that depicts real life, quote, desperate, end quote, housewives with authentic look at their compelling day-to-day drama. A 7-episode series, The Real Housewives will document life in what Bravo calls one of the wealthiest planned communities in the country. According to the network, the women lead glamorous lives in a picturesque Southern California gated community where the average home has a $1.6 million price tag, that's quaint, and residents include CEOs and retired professional athletes. All 5 of the women are used to the good life and will do anything they can to hang on to it. And from diamond parties to Botox sessions, the stress of having a high-powered career, Bravo's cameras will follow it all."
Real Housewives of Orange County was trying to be like a documentary and sort of a tongue-in-cheek, like, this is the real Desperate Housewives. That was how it was marketed. It's like, you love Desperate Housewives? Well, let's watch the real thing.
No Stephen Sondheim lyrics here.
Yeah, it was originally going to be called Behind the Gates, and it was very much supposed to be like this insider sneak peek, slice of life documentary on what it's like to be a very wealthy suburban mom. And it set the template of basically doing these sort of vignettes, these slice of life scenes of the women interacting with their families or working, and then also documenting when all the women would interact with each other. And at first it was sort of natural, like school events and stuff, but then they quickly realized, like, we have to manufacture events for these women to get together.
So they figured out ways to make them fight, I assume?
Yeah, pretty much. And each franchise kind of helped them figure out different ways to get these women to fight.
I mean, one thing that's pretty clear in the interviews is like they'll have people who weren't at something and then a producer will tell them what happened last night and get them involved in it in some way. Oh, did you hear that this one said this about you?
And when that fails, just alcohol, just as much wine as humanly possible.
Alcohol and psychics. Turns out that's the real key.
We love a psychic or like a woo-woo moment.
We had a friend of a friend who went on a reality dating show. And when he ended up watching it later, there was a scene where they're all in the kitchen, and it's the way it's framed is that it looks as though they're sad because they got rejected. And he's like, that's not what that is at all. We are all blackout drunk and just telling each other how much we love each other. And they've just copy pasted that into an entirely different thing and put the violin of great sadness underneath us.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Well, I'm sure that there is a lot of that manipulation in that first season, right, Jolenta? Like you were saying, it sort of starts as trying to be a documentary, but becomes something much pulpier.
It starts being about like, first it's sort of, you know, seeing who can throw like a flashier event. And then when they have different franchises, they have more, like when they got to New Jersey, they had more people who were related to each other. And they're like, oh, this has some nice inherent drama. And like, they're already going to events together. We like this. And, you know, as we get further along, we also start to see people who are like faking their wealth and sort of pitting the women against each other to sort of figure out whose wealth is real becomes like a big part of it.
Oh, God.
Yeah, because there was some financial stuff happening in this first season of Beverly Hills, too.
Yeah. So, well, let's talk about how we get from Orange County to Beverly Hills.
Once they did New York and saw like some real wealth being thrown around, they were like, oh, Orange County was cool. And it's because it's behind the gates. New Jersey is wild because they're all like fake mobster wives. We love the Italian-American culture. And then in New York, they were like, oh, these are people who live in like multi-million-dollar homes and then have a multi-million-dollar Hamptons home. And they were like, I feel like they were like, let's do California again, but even richer this time. These are like the behind the scenes of like the Hollywood elite, not just like the California wealthy. Also
along the way, we got Real Housewives of Atlanta, which I know is a lot of people's favorite.
People love Atlanta.
It's incredible. Yeah.
New Jersey was May 2009. DC, the one that we mentioned, the flop season, that was August of 2010. But Potomac has been running then since 2016, so they were able to succeed on that concept later on.
And now there's like Salt Lake City. I know like people have been getting into the Mormon side of this stuff.
It's really, right now, it's really good.
What makes it so good?
It's mainly because what happens with the later franchises is that like all the women come on knowing kind of the character they want to portray. And we're really watching those characters get like torn apart by the other women, and like true colors are showing in ways that are very delightful. It's fun to watch like the artifice fall.
So there's more authenticity in Salt Lake City than in some of the other ones.
In a way, yes. Yeah. And like there are people who are related, and there also is an element of like religious trauma that makes it very interesting and makes things like higher stakes to them that aren't as high stakes to us. So it's just really interesting.
I'm assuming that even drinking for them is a very high stakes thing because of the LDS Church, right?
Yeah, and it's like one of them who drinks when she's at like events with the Housewives. The one who's Greek and was raised Greek Orthodox brings wine to her like prayer group on Sunday, and she's like,
prayer group?
And she's like, why would you bring wine to this? And she's like, I don't know, you drank wine at this dinner party we were at. What? How am I supposed? She's like, come on, you grew up in Salt Lake, you should know this. And like it was a whole thing where she's like, but I also grew up Greek, so I don't know.
There is this thing which we will, I think, be talking about throughout, where oftentimes to create a compelling reality TV product, you need to behave unethically as a producer. Yeah. Whereas if you are checking all the boxes, ultimately you have to deliver something that is essentially a scripted product, because those moments of real unscripted excitement can only come when people let their guard down and when they are being actively manipulated to do that.
Or honestly, if you bring on a psychic at any point, that's going to generate something.
What I'm amazed by is like watching, having no familiarity with these shows whatsoever, watching this season, the two people who I would not have expected to come back both did.
Yeah.
And Kyle has been on this show for the entire run, up until right now and continuing on into the future.
It should be noted, I think, Kyle Richards, one of the 6 housewives, is the anchor of the show, right? And that's why she's been going this whole time. Just to jump forward to like how this thing actually got made, The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills was announced in a press release in 2010.
The hit Bravo franchise heads to the glamorous city that defines luxurious wealth and pampered privilege, a city where being seen and who you know is everything, Beverly Hills. The 1-hour docuseries is being produced by Evolution Media, The Real Housewives of Orange County, for Bravo, with Douglas Ross, Greg Stewart, Kathleen French, and Dave Ruppel as executive producers, and Alex Baskin as co-executive producer.
Okay, so I think you might have missed your calling, Jolenta, for being the last time on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills voice.
There's still time.
Dream jobs still exist.
That's true. That's true. We have been talking already about Kyle Richards. It sounds like they started with her first and then cast around her. She was the one recommending like, oh, this is somebody who I know. because my husband does real estate for her husband. This is somebody who I know because we travel in the same social circles. This is my sister. and those other 5 women are Taylor Armstrong, who I'm trying to remember how does Kyle know her? I don't actually remember.
This show, it makes it very difficult to track who knows who and why.
I think Taylor might have been brought on through Adrian. I'm not quite sure. Or like they have young kids. I don't know.
She has a lot of trauma in her past, and she's just trying to like live life on the up and up in spite of difficult circumstances, both in her past and her present life. Taylor is, I think she's trying to, they try to position her as the relatable one, I think.
Yeah,
in
until
some ways.
that kids party.
She's like she's the one who made it. She's like the one who's like, I used to be from Middle America.
Exactly, just the girl from Oklahoma.
I'm just the Oklahoma girl
cheerleader
who like managed to like make it rich in Beverly Hills.
So we also have Camille Grammer, whose main character trait is being married to Kelsey Grammer.
Yep. And I love that she's like, I just want to get out under the shadow of my husband, and then brings him up constantly.
Makes him her only storyline.
I think that this is one of those things where there's a bit of a distance between what we are seeing and what is actually happening.
Right.
Again, we will get to that. We also have Adrienne Malouf. Her family is a very wealthy real estate family. They own, at the time of shooting, they have since sold the Sacramento Kings. They also used to own and have since sold the Palms Casino in Las Vegas. So Adrienne Malouf is the wealthiest one by far.
She's the one that's actually impressive that they got.
We also have Kim Richards, who is Kyle's sister. So she is the girl from the Disney Witch Mountain series. I don't know if any of you ever saw Escape to Witch Mountain.
I watched it religiously.
Okay.
I loved
when
it.
I found this out, Leo pointed at the screen so hard I broke the screen.
Oh, you're being serious, AJ?
Yes.
This is one of the movies you saw?
This is one of the
One of the
movies I saw.
5 movies you actually saw as a
One of
child?
the 5 I saw. It was this,
Really?
Grease, and a Goofy movie.
Freaked out when I realized it was her. Also, it should be noted that my husband says Kim Richards has the saddest eyes on television.
Oh my God, does she ever?
He saw me watching this. He's like, oh no, you're watching a sad eyes season? And I was like, sorry, dude.
It makes her so real.
Yes.
Right? In a way that so many of these other women just don't come across as real, but come across as caricatures. There's something that is so relatable. I love Kim.
Yeah.
I'm so sad where this season ends up with her. And I actively root for her. And she was what I clung on to sort of in the storm of all of this.
Yeah.
So clearly, as a result of all the shit she's gone through, she is just a disaster of a person. She has real difficulty showing affection and receiving it, because she is so used to being emotionally abused, including by, it turns out, her own sister.
And like originally, they really, people have been wanting to do a show about Kim, Kyle, and their sister Kathy forever, since Paris became a thing, because Kathy Hilton is the eldest of these 3 sisters, Kim Richards, Kyle Richards, and Kathy Hilton.
Yeah, speaking of Chekhov.
Yeah. They're never getting to Moscow.
To Beverly Hills. To Beverly Hills.
So Kyle was the one always doing the deals, and it always fell through. So then she was like, well, I'll get together a group and my sister. And she famously was the girl in Halloween.
You know, Kyle had some success as a child actor, but Kim was the face of Disney for a little while there.
She had an exclusive contract with Disney. They talk about how she supported the whole family with her income.
Yeah, and she had to work. And I mean, again, as a child actor, I'm vehemently against child acting. I think it's a pretty abusive practice, even when done under the best circumstances. But I think that what separates her too from all the other housewives is that she like has had to work all of her life.
Yes.
In a way that, like, it's not saying that the other housewives don't work. A lot of them do. And a lot of us are very, very business savvy. And we'll get into that a little bit later too. But there's something about a world weariness that is on her back that just does not seem to be with any of the other housewives.
Yeah, she's like a laborer compared to them.
Yes.
Well, and the last housewife in this group, who is very much not a laborer in that sense, is, of course, Lisa Vanderpump.
You know, knowing nothing about Lisa Vanderpump other than Vanderpump Rules, this thing that exists, it wasn't until the post-season episodes that I really understood what her appeal was. The way that everything can just sort of like glance off of her.
Well, she's really good at like doing the one-liners too.
Yeah. Well, she says really mean things, genuinely mean things about everybody, but no one No one's going to cross her.
And she also just has a twink that lives with her for the whole season, and I cannot
Cedric.
wait.
Okay, I'm sorry. No, we can't allow twink creep to continue like this. That man is not a twink.
Okay. What would you classify Cedric as?
European.
Then,
Like they don't.
Just
That's a legally blonde problem.
I mean, yeah, sure. He's like hairless, but he's at best like a twunk. Okay, let's be real.
The past tense twink, yes.
The other notable
that's
thing.
not what twunk means. It's a blending of twink and hunk. It's twink and hunk. It is not a verb.
It's not a past tense.
We can't
Jesus.
litigate this again, not in front of the guest.
The past tense of twink is twank.
I twink. The other notable thing about Lisa is that she and her husband are restaurateurs. And so
Yes.
Vanderpump Rules, that follows her restaurants.
Yeah. I really need her to cross over with Bar Rescue. I need to see
my
Lisa
God.
Vanderpump and John
I have
Taffer.
wanted that as well. Yeah.
Can you imagine John Taffer yelling? First of all, John Taffer couldn't yell at Lisa Vanderpump
No.
because she would be the alpha in
I
that
was going to say
situation.
she's higher status, right?
Right.
Yeah, he
She would
wouldn't be
just bring
capable
out
of
the
it.
couch from that episode of Bar Rescue, and he would like run away like it's his kryptonite.
Well, with all that out of the way, I also just want to recap a couple things that happened before the episodes that we're covering in this episode, because we're only going to be talking about 4 of the 13 main episodes in this season. They're the 4 episodes where something happens.
Yeah.
So in order
Very
to
fair.
sort of fill it in, I'm just going to let you know what happens in the first 3. Kyle Richards, who we talked about, she's sort of the central figure of this show. She has been helping her sister Kim find a new house. It is implied that Kyle and her husband are paying Kim's rent. And Kim has 4 children. She is a single mom. She was obviously married in the past, but is no longer. And she seems to have a codependent relationship, particularly with her oldest daughter. We also have Adrienne, who we mentioned. She's the really rich one. She treats the ladies to a couple big events. They go to a Sacramento Kings game. They also go to a weekend at her casino in Las Vegas, which includes tickets to a Jay-Z concert. And then while everybody is in Las Vegas, there's an off-camera conversation. We do not see it, where Kyle and Camille talk to each other. Kyle, as we've mentioned, the central figure. Camille, Kelsey Grammer's wife.
Yes.
Camille tells Kyle that the cameras are going to be following her on a trip to Hawaii. That's the one thing that they agree happened. After that, their accounts of what happened diverge. But as best as I can tell, Kyle expressed surprise that Kelsey Grammer would not be coming along and pressed Camille for more details. And Camille took great offense to this because she felt that she was getting interrogated or questioned or accused of something in bad faith.
And on the subject of Kelsey for 1 second, we see him very, very briefly at the beginning of the series, and then he goes off to New York to do La Cage aux Folles.
Right. Which is why he can't come along on that trip to Hawaii. He's in a Broadway show.
And it does seem as though he might have been able to take time off, but chose not to.
The La Cage saga, I mean, that's something I kind of knew just from the side of following Broadway. He was supposed to play Georges in La Cage, the Robin Williams character, for a certain amount of time, and then switch over and play Alban, the Nathan Lane character. That switch did not happen.
Okay.
So I don't think he broke contract, but he ended up leaving the production before the initial plan. And then he tried to start a new conservative cable network.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of this has to do with the fact that his co-star won the Tony and he did not.
Yeah.
And I think there was a lot of
That's
sour
what
grapes.
I was going to say, I was trying to remember if he won the Tony or not. And I
Did
didn't
you
think he
see
did,
that production, Jolenta?
I didn't. I was here at the time, but I was
But
like,
I chose not to. I would stand across the street and throw eggs
I was
at
like,
Kelsey.
I don't have the money. Plus, he was getting conservative.
Plus, he's leaving his wife.
And they say she was a flight attendant. I always heard she was a dancer.
Yeah, I mean, in the same way that Camille is also
And Camille
was also once a dancer.
was also a dancer. Yeah.
His first wife was a dancer and dance instructor.
Oh.
The man loves to dance.
He loves to dance. That marriage that happens after this is they're still together
They are,
to this day.
Yeah.
She stayed through him with the Frasier reboot and everything.
That's got to be tough.
You gotta,
going
you
right
gotta look
there.
in your spouse's face and lie to them. It's so
Be
great,
like, it's
sweetie.
awesome.
Yeah,
I
'cause-
really love that the guy you've cast to play your son looks suspiciously like Nick, your ex-wife's tennis instructor. That is a whole other poor thing.
Oh, whoa.
Who doesn't love to kiss their tennis instructor on the lips?
Absolutely. We all love to kiss our tennis instructors on the lips.
God, I
So-
wish.
Plenty of balls.
Let's get into episode 4, shall
This
we?
one is called "It's My Party and I'll Spend If I Want to."
And they do, folks, because this is an episode about dueling birthday parties.
It's also about motherhood, Josh.
It really is, isn't it? So Taylor Armstrong from Oklahoma, right? Her daughter Kennedy is turning 4, and so she wants to throw her a birthday party.
Hey guys. Hi, honey. Hi. Thank you for coming to the poker tournament. I heard you were like a big winner.
Had so much fun. It was a
I had
gas.
no idea.
Yeah, I didn't either.
You know, Kennedy's birthday's coming up.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so it's time, I think, to get her some diamonds or something special.
Gotta get her.
First time and something big and gorgeous and special.
Come on, let's take a look.
Lena and Alan Friedman design custom jewelry for people like Queen Latifah, Jessica Simpson, Paris Hilton, you name it. They've been my jewelers for over 5 years.
What would be more appropriate than the Barbie collection?
Oh my gosh. They didn't have this when I was a little girl. I was raised an only child and I hadn't been around young children before. So motherhood for me has been such a brand new concept. I like it all. I mean, the pieces that are the Barbie's silhouette.
Aren't they pretty?
They're just amazing. These are going to be timeless.
I love giving diamonds to a toddler.
Because I remember anything that happened when I was 4.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it's also. So here's the thing, right? My spouse used to work in an industry that planned these parties, right, for the uber rich in like Soho, right?
And how many of the proprietors were perverts who wore red sunglasses? Because the guy who runs this jewelry store is a pervert who wears these red sunglasses.
He
and
looks
it's
like
crazy.
an anime villain.
He
Yes.
really
Yeah,
does.
yeah,
Yeah.
Probably someone. But what was so interesting about it was that you really get into the mindset of these people who are incredibly wealthy. And these birthday parties aren't really about the kids, right? They're about showing everyone how much you love your kids by spending as much money as humanly possible. Because these necklaces that she's getting are not just for her and her daughter. She's getting special ones for them. But they're also party gifts, right? For every one of the other kids
They're
coming
getting like
to the
sapphire
party.
ones for the kids.
Yeah, and just a mere $1,200 a pop.
Yeah,
I mean,
this
dear
really
God.
redefines what spoiling a child looks like for me, because I think of spoiling a child as like they just get whatever they want. This is you giving your child fancy, expensive things they have no intention of ever having.
Yeah.
They don't want it. They don't ask for it, and you've thrust it upon them anyway. Here's your fucking 4-year diamond. You better enjoy it. And
Look,
she
it is the
doesn't
diamond
enjoy it.
anniversary.
She's like, okay,
No.
cool.
No.
Like,
She
give
doesn't
me
care.
some shit made out of plastic, please.
She wants to like play on a swing.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a child.
Kids love swings and dirt.
That particular clip that we just listened to of her shopping for the jewelry, I think, is a great exemplar of one of the most common things they use to fill time on this show, which is shopping montages. And Jolenta, I'd love to hear from you a bit about shopping montages in Real Housewives.
Okay. All right. Let me put my glasses on for this. Here
we go.
I would say at first at least the production approached it like semi-neutrally, where it's like we're a documentary crew. We're just gonna neutrally like watch these shopping trips. But it quickly became clear that these women were buying ridiculous things, spending ridiculous amounts of money. Like they clearly turn into opportunities, I feel like, for the audience to start like scrutinizing spending, questioning how wasteful this lifestyle is, and with like fun lingering shots, and like they make sure to put up the chyrons that tell you how much is being spent.
Yeah.
So it's a bit tongue in cheek, especially for shows that premiered or just like ones airing after the financial crisis of 2008.
Oh, yeah.
We start seeing like the excessive spending being framed as much more wasteful. And we also start seeing housewives whose wealth is fake. And so we start like questioning that while we watch these shopping sprees as well.
How much of this do you think was actually expensed on the actual producers of the show, or are they spending their own money?
For their parties, it depends. There are certain parties that production helps with. There are certain that they don't. My gut is telling me they didn't help out on the kids' birthdays. I think that was on the women to, be as flashy as they wanted to. Like the money for parties usually comes for like, I'm hosting the white party. That's actually clearly the finale filming party.
Right.
Yeah.
Like Taylor's birthday was probably partially funded by production because that was the final party. And like the cast trips are, I think, partially funded by production. But I think this was just to I think they were just encouraged to spend as much as they wanted.
I would also imagine, I mean, I don't know this for certain, but I would imagine that some of this is also a promotional consideration for the retailers.
Right.
Where they allow,
Exactly.
they will essentially comp some of their product in exchange for the exposure that they're going to be getting on the show.
Yeah. If you're seeing like a restaurant name or a store name, then something has been comped from the experience.
It turns out that Kyle is also hosting a birthday party. And, she's just doing a normal middle-class birthday party. The total price for food and drinks is a mere $3,000. Rather than springing for the extremely elaborate tent or whatever, she gets a baby animal petting zoo, a bouncing castle, and a tiny train. Really normal stuff.
Yeah, but I feel like this is more of a kid's party.
It is.
Like the kids are having a goddamn blast at this one, where at the other one, they're avoiding it like the plague.
Some of the money being spent was to entertain children, not like the tea service.
Yeah, no, Kyle's party looks way more fun, and that goes without saying. But again, there's stuff going on here where the production is editorializing about certain things and not noting other things. And I want to get to that at the end of this episode.
Yeah.
Taylor's damage, on the other hand, we've got the tea service, which inclusive with sandwiches and drinks is $4,500. The desserts, $2,200 on top of that. The party set, $19,000. The total damage for Taylor's birthday party for her daughter is $60,000.
Yeah, that's pretty normal.
Yeah, it's typical. I don't think it's a big deal.
Look, these things just kind of add up, and it's it's a birthday. How many of those do you get?
You can't do it without the train.
Especially 4.
Yeah.
That only happens once.
My super sweet 4.
That's right.
It's the diamond birthday.
And I think that the show is editorializing pretty heavily in terms of what it chooses to capture from Taylor's party. Everything looks cheap in spite of the expense.
Yeah.
Then we have this really interesting moment where the photographer shows up and the kid doesn't want to get photos taken. And then this happens instead.
I wanted the photographer to be there so that I could get some pictures with my daughter.
We take one picture? No. Will you sit right here?
No and no.
Please?
No.
Okay. In a little while. Okay, you want to go with Nana?
Best laid plans when you're dealing with small children.
You look beautiful.
Of course, still took the opportunity to get some pictures taken.
So she's getting pictures taken of herself.
It's a solo photo shoot.
Yep. She stands on a table. She's so wacky.
When we look at Kyle's party, it's all, kids running around having fun.
Yeah.
Although also in the case of Kyle's party, the kid is also kind of the kid's just kind of tired.
Yeah.
Whereas with Taylor's party, those photo shoots of her are intercut with shots of the kid just kind of wandering around. And it's one of these cases where, I think that the show has a perspective and wants you to have a perspective as well. And I'm curious what we thought about that.
These women are ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's a bit of the perspective.
Yeah.
And it's like, if it wasn't clear enough that this party is for Taylor and, to live out her fantasy of what she thought she needed when she was a child, then it couldn't be clearer than her just being like, all right, photo shoot for me.
This whole thing made me feel really gross because I think child acting is one thing, but being a child on a reality show is an entirily different level of consent that makes me feel gross. Especially because she doesn't want
ask the Duggars.
Yeah, she doesn't want to be there. And I'm just why are you filming this? Why are you showing this to us? I don't know. Now they have to grow up in their whole lives having been watched like this. And it's because of a decision that their moms made. It wasn't something that they agreed to. And reframing sort of the show as the women using this as a way to get a divorce. Like they could like get enough like money and like power because they are so reliant on their husband's income, using this and spinning it off so they could be in a financially stable enough place to leave. For the most part, they're terrible husbands. In that way, I admire them like for signing up for that, because that's an avenue for them to like find that way to escape. But what they do to these kids, I think is immoral, frankly.
Yeah, no, I don't admire them at all. I don't admire anyone here.
No.
I don't admire the people making the show. I don't admire myself for watching it.
Sorry.
No, I am so glad I watched it, because it is a piece of the cultural zeitgeist that I had like no affinity with whatsoever, and so to come into
you
it
weren't,
and, like,
you weren't
learn so
getting
much
any
about
kind
it.
of feelings of deja vu as a kid growing up in affluent Southern California.
No, well, weirdly, there is a difference between being affluent and being the super rich, because the super rich kind of occupy their own world. I still went to public school, so I had a lot of friends who weren't necessarily in that world. I had a lot of very wealthy friends, but I also had friends who weren't so wealthy, and you're exposed to that. But in Beverly Hills, it is such a containment pod, you know?
Yeah, there was something where they talk about the psychic party where everyone gets really nasty with each other. They're like, we don't do parties like this in Beverly Hills. And I was like, what town do you do parties like that in? Is there like one rich enclave where these are just like the norm?
It's like that's Malibu shit.
Yeah.
Don't bring that shit here.
No.
Well, I think to the point of like class anxiety, something that I found kind of an interesting little sidebar that they did in this episode was tracking Lisa Vanderpump's relationship with her son, Max. Lisa is, as we were mentioning, the British restaurateur, and she has an adopted son named Max, who I guess had some behavioral issues, and so they sent him to boarding school in Idaho.
And he's the only adopted child, right?
Right.
Like all the other children are biological. So they have this one adopted child who they shipped off.
He's very much the black sheep of the family.
Yeah.
And Lisa has this real class anxiety about everything to do with this kid.
A little backstory that we don't learn about for a few years. It is 100% class anxiety. Also, she has a brother who she loses to drug addiction. So she is hyper aware and afraid of anything that can lead to drug use.
Sure. Because that's her big fear of Hollywood, which she repeatedly expresses, is like, oh, you want to go to Hollywood to be a musician? Well, I don't want you to go to Hollywood because that's where all of the drugs are.
Yeah, go run our family nightclubs instead.
Yeah, no, it's this idea of, this is still the era of pot being a gateway drug. Right.
Oh,
He's caught smoking pot, and then they ship him off to Idaho.
Right.
Because of that. And it looks very quaint now, sitting in the year 2025.
I think even then it looks pretty fucking like out of touch and quaint for her to be like, oh yeah, or it was bad. We had to send him away. He was smoking reefers, doobies even.
I mean, she Lisa Vanderpump feels anachronistic, doesn't she? Like, she seems like she was pulled out of like an archive from 100 years ago and like
she grew up in the
reanimated.
British
Or just
countryside,
pulled out
darling.
of Dynasty, I think is kind of what she's going for.
Yes.
I feel like that's always been her vibe, is like, I want you to think I'm still living in Dynasty.
Yeah.
So Max's whole deal, like I said, he wants to move to Hollywood to become a musician, and there is a moment in this where they go and tour a music school, which is a for-profit music academy in Hollywood, and it looks terrible.
Maybe you would let him kind of play the guitar with you. At least Paul would have a rough idea of where you're at.
All right.
Okay.
You have a seat on the stage right there. Let's hear a little groove real quick.
I already have a lot, so.
Keep that up. Just keep holding that down.
It's like hyping him up.
Yeah, he's got good time, you know. He's got good rhythm. His hands are ready. You know, basically, he's got the motor skills to get accepted.
This must have been another one of those deals that they had, because why? If you
Definitely.
have Vanderpump money, why are you touring a for-profit?
Yeah, no fucking way.
Like,
On Hollywood Boulevard.
No, you're what you're doing if the kid really wants to learn guitar is you're getting a guitar tutor who has a lot of money or who charges a lot of money, and you are paying the rate that he demands.
Yeah,
right?
I'm literally on Real Housewives, and I'm sending my son to the prestigious DeVry University.
Really? Yeah. I don't know. I feel like this was Lisa being like, "We'll show us parenting," and this is it.
Yeah.
And like, I assume maybe like I'm imagining a whole scenario here, but I'm like, maybe she just wanted to do like college tours, but her son's not interested in that, so they're gonna do this. Like,
yeah, I mean, he's got talent. That's the thing. It's like Max is actually able to play the guitar very well. It's just he kept very unrefined.
I mean,
but
he's also not Jimi Hendrix, like.
No, well, of course not.
But yeah, no, he's fine, right? He's fine on the guitar. He's perfectly fine.
I feel a lot of sympathy for Max because he was sent off to Idaho his senior year of high school. Ugh. That is such a cruel thing to do. Yeah.
Well, it's the only state in America that doesn't have weed.
That's true. Very famously.
Did you know that in Idaho, you have to physically lock your liquor up in cabinets with a padlock after midnight at a bar?
Yeah.
That's because that's when the wolves come out.
It's a mean, nasty Republican state.
Wolves come out to drink.
Yeah.
Another. You've had enough, wolf.
The other sort of sidebar that's happening parallel to these parties is Camille's trip to Hawaii, because as we had mentioned, the producers, I'm not 100% like, this is one thing where, again, it's not clear why this happened, but Kelsey Grammer was not going to come back to Beverly Hills. He was having a perfectly fine time being in Lacage in New York. And they decided to fly her and two of her nannies to Hawaii with
two of her 6 nannies?
Something.
Yeah, I think there's
three,
6 of them,
three per kid or something like that.
It's definitely multiple per child.
And then she gets into a hot tub at her villa in Hawaii and has this absolutely bizarre conversation with her dear friend Dee Dee and her other visiting friend Carl.
Looking good, baby.
Oh, thank you, Carl.
Camille, you look great, buddy.
Oh, thanks.
Really good.
You do.
So do you, Dee. Looking good.
Thank you.
What a lucky man I am.
I'm just going to have people come around that just kiss my ass and tell me how wonderful I am. Please,
But you
more.
are wonderful.
Yeah, just tell me how
And
great I am.
you're beautiful.
Oh, and I'll take it. Keep
And
going.
you're hot.
Yeah, keep
And you're
going.
great
I
to
want
be
more.
around.
I don't get enough. I'm alone most of the time.
You're good eye candy. It's great having great buddies like you, I'll tell you.
Thanks.
Nothing better.
I think I've helped everybody out here in this hot tub.
You have.
Kelsey and I are very generous people. My girlfriend Dee Dee's husband was out of work for a while, so we had moved her and her family into one of our homes here in LA and gave her one of our cars. I have this Jesus complex, I think. Yeah. I have this need that I want to help people. For me to give back, that's what feeds my soul. That's what makes me feel good as a person. I mean, I live for that. That completes me.
It's amazing how you and Kelsey have been just great.
Yeah, you guys are generous. Total generosity.
You are total generous
That's
generosity.
what makes me feel happy. I mean, God's blessed me with so much.
What's going on here?
I cannot believe that at no moment he looks at both of them and is like, so is this happening?
Yeah, no, I know. I'm like, so tops off, ladies.
No.
Well, she engineers a couple of moments for the show. There are always like these moments where someone has contrived something. There's that fucking date later on. With the like, I have like 6 kids, and it's like a sitcom premise.
Yeah. That was
like,
awful.
this isn't real. This guy doesn't believe that. We're just screwing around. And the Camille ones are even more obvious than that. She's like, I need you people to come on the show right at the beginning and talk about how great I am so that everyone knows how great I am.
Yeah.
And so the upcoming divorce proceedings, I have proof how great I am.
Just total generosity.
Yeah, I do believe in her heart of hearts she knows this is nearing the end.
For sure.
With Kelsey.
For sure.
Yeah.
If you watch the reunion, actually,
she says that. Yeah.
She says as much. She says it explicitly that, like, at the point that it was filming, like, did she know 100%? No, but she knew in her gut.
Yeah, she said something weird was happening just a few weeks before production on the show started.
Right. Going to Hawaii was very weird because we didn't really go anywhere in Hawaii, right? Which is what a lot of rich people do when they go and they travel. They go to their little compounds that they have a house in, and then they don't really explore it. So genuinely, part of me was like, did they go to Hawaii, or is this just like a place they rented to save money? Do you know what I mean? Like, I know they did. I realized they did, but it didn't look like Hawaii. It just looked like California to me.
Right.
I don't understand. Like, what was the value of going with them at all?
Was the point to be like, look how good of a generous friend Camille is? She takes random people.
Her pervert old friend with
she
her.
takes her friend who hits on her all the time.
We love Carl.
Carl weirds me out so much.
Carl fucking rules.
I would not kiss Carl on the mouth.
I cannot tell if he's married to Dee Dee or not. I've never been able to figure it out.
He's married to the world, man. Carl can't be contained.
I need to know if he has a pineapple in the front of his house. You know?
Oh, for sure.
Or as my dad likes to say, 2 red Adirondack chairs. So my dad has this theory that if there are 2 red Adirondack chairs in front of your home, that means you're a swinger.
Okay.
And so I went out into my backyard and looked in some of my neighbors' yards, and everyone has red Adirondack chairs as far as the eye can see. And I'm like, Dad, what's happening in my neighborhood?
Swingers, they're such a specific thing. I think I've talked about this before, but like, you're an anomaly as a swinger if you're under the age of 55.
Right.
Like, I worked a swinger party once, and the young couple there they were both like 43. People couldn't keep their hands off them because they were so young.
But is this what's implied here? Is it implied that this is a swinger situation, do you think, Jolenta?
I mean, that's what people were kind of guessing back in the day, like when it was airing. It was like, what is this relationship that she seems to be very close with all these male friends?
Right. Well, we didn't even talk about her tennis coach, Nick. Right.
Yeah, she kisses on the mouth. Like, well, it's with her and with the Vanderpumps. They both seem like couples that have had, in the case of the Grammars, some kind of arrangement.
Yeah.
That, of course, they're not going to go into on, national television.
Right. But it's weird because we do see Carl later, and he's like all clean cut, and he's got his like hair
Carl goes
slicked
to
back.
New York.
He goes to New York with
He's
them.
in Kelsey Grammer's apartment.
That's when they kiss on the mouth, where she's
I'm just like, I need this man to leave. I need him to get out of the show. What is he doing there?
He just wants to see Latasha Fall, who doesn't love to see it. Great Jerry Herman tunes.
Camille kisses Carl on the mouth? I missed that.
Yeah, it was like before the premiere or something.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was so strange.
Carl rules. He skeezes me out, and I love him. Anyway, let's head back to Taylor's party. The party that is definitely for Taylor's child and not for Taylor.
And then right in the middle of it all, here comes Russell with his gift.
What is that, baby?
The box looked so big and heavy, I thought it was a dollhouse, but I didn't know because Russell didn't tell me about it.
What is it?
When I saw the puppy, I was stunned. We had talked about this, and we had agreed no dog.
I told Taylor, I said, I'm going to get Kennedy a puppy for her birthday. And she said, no, you're not. No way. I said, yes, I am.
Oh, a dog. But he works all the time, so it's a convenient gift. Give the dog and go back to work.
Exactly. Taylor and I have known each other for so very long, and I know what upsets Taylor and what doesn't upset Taylor. Russell's Russell. He wanted a dog, and he just did what he wanted to do.
So Russell is Taylor's husband, as we've mentioned. He's how would we describe him?
I hate this man.
Piece of garbage.
But he's a man who looks like he should be wearing a Bluetooth earpiece at all times. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. He's constantly in his business. He does not clearly love Taylor at all. No. It's clearly a trophy wife situation.
Yep. And he just does shit. And he knew, this puppy was some sort of thing that they had discussed. And he said, I won't buy a puppy. And then he buys a puppy that his daughter ends up being just horrifically allergic to.
Yeah, they have to rehome the puppy because the daughter can't
every morning she wakes up with her eyes fused shut. Every part of her body that she makes contact with the dog.
Everywhere.
It's dreadful. Yeah.
And on top of all of this, at the end of the party, the kid is so overstimulated that she just ends up bawling her eyes out. It's awful.
Yeah, it's really horrible to watch. And especially once we learned about everything that Russell did during this and the second season.
Because this is something that they don't show on camera, but that is very important to talk about. Taylor's husband, Russell Armstrong.
He was both emotionally and physically abusive.
Yeah.
hit Taylor so hard that she needed reconstructive surgery. Because he gave her an orbital fracture.
She said in an interview not too long ago, the first time he strangled her was when she was like a couple months pregnant.
Yeah, he was a horrible monster person. And he was also, for all of his claims of like his life is all about his business, a terrible businessman.
Right.
This man was $1.5 million in debt. And after filming had wrapped for the second season, Russell Armstrong hung himself.
It was actually during the filming.
Taylor found the body.
Yep.
And had to go through that horrible thing. It just really recontextualizes that meme.
Yes.
Right.
It really, and that like I can't remember the exact fight, but like what happens during season 2 is Camille and I think one other woman basically out Taylor and say like, you said your husband was abusive, and they out her on camera.
And she wasn't ready to talk about it yet at that.
Right. And like, you know, she had talked to them about like, I like doing the show. It's kind of a safe place for me actually to have people like monitoring us in our house and stuff. And so she gets outed and it like things really blow up. And like, I think her yelling is about either something about that or about like something in the aftermath after he has passed, right? It's like, it is, Housewife fans have always been like, it is a little tragic that you guys are running with Taylor in one of her darkest moments.
Yeah. That's the whole thing about watching these shows, that they are ultimately real people who do have real problems that sometimes make their way into the very sort of manufactured world of all of this.
Right.
And it's, I think a lot about James Acaster going on Great British Bake Off. Right. And the meme that happens out of that, it's like, you know, had a nervous breakdown, bon appetit. That was one of the worst days of his life. He had called a suicide hotline the night before in order to like talk his way through it. And now he's just like, you know, what really sucks is having one of the worst moments in your life become a meme. Yeah. And I feel that same way about Taylor and how horribly this guy treated her. And I mean, I'm glad that
he was dead. I'm sorry he made it someone else's problem, but you know.
Yeah.
Right.
It also provides an interesting recontextualization for the birthday party itself, because really what's going on here, and again, the show can't really say it because, you know, it's not really a documentary, but this is Taylor trying to create a happy memory for her and her daughter, where she is giving her child the gift of this special, fun memory. And even though it is partially for the sake of like keeping up appearances and showing off to the neighborhood, the core of it for her is actually about connecting with her daughter, even though it doesn't seem like it. Because
she said that this was actually something her mom did for her.
Exactly.
When she was a little kid.
And the other piece of that too is that when she was a kid, she was also abused. Yeah. And so it puts it all into this single sort of connected line where she wanted this to be a perfect moment, and it was fucking ruined by her horrible abusive husband. And the more I think about it, the sadder I get. Like, it makes me want to cry.
And like, in a way, these parties are some of the only environments that she's like given the leeway to control.
Yes.
And he still has to come in and be like, actually, I have final say in stuff that you put your foot down on. Like, it's just so shitty.
Yeah. And now I understand why she has these contentious conversations like about the dog and everything with the cameras there.
Right.
You see that with Kelsey Grammer too. Not that he was abusive, but just like Kelsey especially is just like so hyper aware of when the camera is present, and he's not going to let anyone in on whatever's going on with him. He's such a pro at that.
It really, I think also this moment speaks to something that you talk a lot about, Jolenta, which is how it is easy to write this stuff off as frivolous because it is presented frivolously. And these are pretty ridiculous people on the balance, but there's real human drama and real human pathos here, right?
And like, in a weird way, like, people really could relate to Taylor, even though she's so unrelatable, spending $60K on her kid's 4th birthday. People also know what it's like to want to create a happy memory for your kid after growing up in a household full of like anger.
What really jumped out at me when I was watching this was like just how conservative the dynamics are. The social dynamics feel like they're about the same as they were when Jane Austen was writing. Like the way that women talk about what women should be doing with their time, and what even when some of these women own their own businesses and do this kind of work themselves, there's just a lot of really crazy dynamics and philosophy around gender that it seems so weird and cloistered, especially being in Southern California and everything like that. But like the way that level of wealth traps you in this certain strata of society where you better align with it in this way.
It makes it really easy, like if you're a guy, to never have to change a diaper if you also have like 4 nannies that are helping with the babies and like a wife who's like societal role it is to do that.
And yet it's still presented as being aspirational.
Yeah.
Don't you want this?
Don't you want to be like this? Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, kind of. That was kind of the weird thing, is that I felt myself over the course of the season being like, oh no, this is a warning. This is like, you may think you want this. You may think you want wealth, but what it does is it hides all the truly dark and gruesome stuff.
Sure.
And it makes you focus on the petty squabbles of like, what if that like somebody said something about me that I didn't like, and let's spend an entire like series just focused on that one exchange, which is where we go next, obviously.
I think where the show fails on depicting that in that way, though, is that the show's entire purpose is just to be as mean as possible, to find the meanest possible approach to basically everything, the chirons and the cutting and everything.
Well, we're going to get to see more examples of that harsh and bizarre meanness and plenty more petty squabbling right after our break. So stay tuned and we'll be right back with you.
This fall on Bravo, a new group of housewives enter the fray as we go where no housewives have gone before, California. Get ready for the newest chapter in the Real Housewives franchise, The Real Housewives of Carmel by the Sea.
I'm Chloe Kissinger. I might have been married to one of the greatest war criminals in the history of our country, but that doesn't mean I'm not a bombshell all on my own.
I'm Kathy Napkins. My husband may have invented napkins, but it'll be me that'll clean up the mess.
I'm Kim, and sometimes I go into the backyard and cover myself with tiny stones from head to foot just to see what it would be like to be dead.
Thrill as the housewives visit the Mission San Carlos Borromeo de Rio Carmelo and get wine drunk in the Basilica.
Chloe, I really don't think you should be drinking that much communion wine.
Shut up, Kim. Everything you say, everything you are is a $3 mistake.
When Chloe told Kim that she was a $3 mistake, I was like, what? And then I was like, huh? And then I was like, she did not just say that. I killed
you
somebody.
You moved into our town.
A long time ago. I hit them with my car and just kept driving.
We're in Disney or something.
For a long time,
I will not
I convinced myself
for telling you the truth. I am the truth teller. My husband was Real Kissinger. You dick
feels so good to get that off my chest. Kim flipping over that pew and burning down the basilica really overshadowed my confession of murder. And I'll be honest, I took that a little personally.
My husband was Henry Kissinger, okay? He did not bomb all of those innocent civilians just so his wife could be yelled at in a church.
I moved here from Beverly Hills because this is where we shot Escape to Witch Mountain. And everyone we shot it with, all the camera crew and the makeup people and the director, they made me feel important. So much of my life has felt out of control, like somebody else was living it for me. But when we shot that movie, I know it sounds stupid, but it was the first time I felt like I was living for me. So I thought moving back here might give me that sense of control again. But the truth is, I've never been more lost. Please, can somebody help me? Anybody? Can I return to Witch Mountain? Just for a day, just for an hour, please. I don't know what to do. Somebody help me. Hello? Anybody? Somebody help me!
So marvel at the lives of the housewives in the small California town where Clint Eastwood was the mayor for 2 whole years. Wait, seriously? Like that? Clint Eastwood? Holy f***. The Real Housewives of Carmel by the Sea, putting the sea in the C word.
I uncharacteristically took less than 1 page of notes for this episode because I watch reality TV and my brain goes the whole time. 17 hours of this shit. How dare you? You're dead to me, Josh.
It's fine. Because I have to.
So
you didn't have to watch all 17 hours either.
That's true.
I needed the whole story. I needed the whole
Got
story.
it.
Now, I can't tell the people apart, but that's a different situation.
Doesn't matter.
That's fine.
So, the one thing I did take notes on were like every time I caught like a weird malapropism or mispronunciation. So, the first one that I grabbed was the underlining issue.
Yeah,
instead of the
pretty
underlying. There's a
I like that
point
one.
where Miss Vanderpump says you're here diddle daddling instead of dilly dallying.
Diddle daddling.
Diddle daddling.
Maybe that's how they say it in Britain.
I don't think so. I think that's just a mistake. Of course, everyone caught on to this one. Machiavellic.
Machiavellic.
Yes.
Yeah. That's my favorite Eastern European soccer player. There's another one. This is again with the Vanderpumps where someone says like she's not 5'12", and everyone's like, ha ha ha, 5'12", and then the response is that would make you 6'3". That's not correct. I guess you're used to the metric thing, but nope.
Oh, that's really good.
Another Vanderpump is her 3.2 turns as opposed to just a 3-point turn, which is what she was doing. Of course, another one that I think everyone else got was, fool me once, shame on, because it.
Yes.
This is a great one. She should have a superhero costume with a big question mark on it because I do not understand the girl. What?
Also, that superhero.
She's the Riddler,
Yeah, I was
Brian.
going to say, that's the Riddler.
That's a villain, but like the Riddler's thing is not that you don't understand him. It's that he gives you riddles that are phrased like questions.
He gives you questions. Yeah.
And the other question mark guy is Matthew Lesko, who just helps you get free money from the government. He's a good guy. I don't want to be on the end of her slings and arrows as opposed to her barbs. I think she was going for barbs, but what came to her
she's trying
was
to be like
slings and arrows.
Was that a Camille? That
I think
sounds
that's
like
a
She
Camille.
didn't want to be in season 3 of Slings and Arrows. It's not care for King
Someone
right?
talking about her husband says, "Oh, he lets everything roll off his shoulder."
Just one shoulder.
Well,
One
your whole
shoulder,
back
not
is a
his
shoulder.
Yeah, he's
I
got
guess.
he's got a
big
back
shoulder.
for a shoulder, a leg for an arm, and an arm for a leg. My son butt-headed my husband. Not head
That
butted.
one stood out to me
that's
too.
good.
That's where your son comes up to you and goes, Holy Tolito. The hard T. She is pernicious. That's another one that I think people kind of grabbed onto.
That's a classic.
This is another whole phrase that just like really sang to me for some reason. You've got the balls of a burglar to be throwing rocks like that in a glass house.
Balls of a burglar.
Huge balls.
You gotta have the balls of a burglar to throw rocks in a glass house. If you're burgling the glass house.
I think that this is something that Housewives fans really love about the show is that they all have a unique command of the English language, like across all of the shows, right?
And I mean, like, it's something that we all do to some degree. And so they're selecting for a moment where something comes out
They're
weird.
so good at it. One of my favorites from Orange County is, oh, she's the puppet and we're all the puppet master. It's just completely backwards.
And the last one, which came from, the medium from Medium was, while she is just completely wasted, they are garbage of rubies and diamonds.
She made zero sense.
Let's move on to episode 5, shall we?
This one's called I Would Never Say That.
That's actually a direct
title
quote.
of this episode.
It sounds like a poll quote. So.
I think that is a direct quote from this episode because something that actually did happen in episode 4 that I forgot to point out, which does pay off later on, is that Kim has now moved into a new house that Kyle and her husband are apparently paying for. And Kim's doing other stuff too, such as going clothes shopping with Adrienne, because they have been invited to New York because Kelsey Grammer is opening La Cage aux Folles at the Longacre, I think. And everybody gets to go. It's amazing. Kim is going clothes shopping with her good housewife buddy, Adrienne. But wouldn't you know it, Adrienne gets a phone call that her uncle died. Oh, no. Shoot.
This is a genuinely like real moment that's captured though, and in sort of in the sea of the like we're all performing.
Yeah, this isn't scripted. She takes her mic off and everything. It's interesting.
Yeah, actually unscripted. She's like, wait, they keep calling. I'm gonna get this, and you have like a little moment of vulnerability.
And understanding between the housewives, because I think a huge part of this, right, is that they have these very fraught conversations that they put like the stings underneath, but they're just like very normal conversations for the most part. And in this one, we get to see them just like be human for a moment, and I think it's kind of beautiful.
And to the point of the humanity, I feel like you really get a good sense of who Kim is from this interaction.
Right.
Go ahead, Jolenta. I didn't mean to cut you off.
I was just going to say, and you get to see Kim be like a bit more of a normal human and be like, oh no, someone's in pain. Like she becomes relatable in that moment.
We also learn a bit more about Cedric. Lisa Vanderpump has a permanent house guest named Cedric. And here's a little bit of what their relationship sounds like.
Cedric, he does work for us, and it is an unusual relationship. He is like a member of the family. So sometimes there is that dividing line, which is difficult when I have to kick his butt over something at work. Tea, darling?
Yes, please.
Sugar?
Three sugars.
3 sugars?
I know, I need my sugar fix in the morning. I do. What do you mean I never have?
You're not having 3.
I don't.
That's
What do you
ridiculous.
mean? I need my sugar fix.
I guess eventually he's going to move out, and he wants to get married. He wants children. He wants to be a housewife.
From a person who has parents' point of view, I always felt bad for Max when Cedric would come up, because I'm like, Max got sent away for like smoking weed, but Cedric gets to be Cedric gets to be 37 and living off these people, like and doing whatever he wants. But also, I feel like Cedric is sort of a weird, unexpected look into this world of wealth, where it's like, with this money comes these kind of people who insert themselves in your life, feel like family, and are like possibly taking you for a long ride.
Yeah, right. Do you remember that article about Yasher Ali? The guy who just like makes a lot of very popular posts on Twitter now, Blue Sky.
Right, yeah.
And how he was just like living in a room in Kathy Griffin's mansion for like months on end.
What?
How there's just like a segment of this upper echelon of society who are effectively homeless and just like extended house. I mean, I have nowhere to talk because I was also just an extended house guest of some people who were not rich, but just like living in someone's
Kathy
basement
Griffin.
for a while this year. But like, it's very odd to be like, you have so much room in your house and you're like, well, I better use it for something. So you have people who are just guests all the time.
Who just like live there.
It's like Hans Christian Andersen at Charles Dickens's house.
And in the case of Cedric specifically, the long story here, it turns out that he is a con man. We learn again in the reunion at the end that he took them not actually for money, but for the purpose of blackmail.
Well, there was like some money in terms of like being able to use them to get to America and stuff.
Right.
And using
that's
his
true.
sob
So
story.
he got like a green card and like daily living expenses covered,
came up
I assume.
with this whole sob story, and who knows how much of it is true.
Right? Like
that,
none of
like
it?
You could tell when he was telling it, I was like,
what
what the fuck is this? Is not a real thing that happened to him at all.
He's like fucking Oliver Twist, where
his
like
mother was a prostitute, and he's also the product of like her sexual assault, and she left him at a phone booth
when he was 7 years old.
Yeah.
But I also, I think the point is very well made that it's so bizarre that she treats Cedric this way. This guy who turns out to just be doing a very long con on them and ultimately is trying to blackmail them by being like, I'll tell your story if you don't give me a bunch of money.
Like super weird and like kind of sexually harasses him
Definitely
all the
harassing
time.
him.
And he used to be like the front guy at one of their gay clubs in London.
Right.
And so she just sort of parades him around as like an ornament, like her bald dog.
Yeah.
There's a really odd power dynamic at play here. And I have to imagine that even though, Cedric is essentially a con man, some of his feelings are probably grounded in some pretty valid experiences.
Well, you try being left in a phone booth when you're 7,
you're
Josh.
not wrong.
With Kiefer Sutherland just saying cryptic shit to you. Now I'm just imagining phone booth where the sniper is actually Kelsey Grammer, and I think that would actually be a better movie.
That would be very entertaining.
I looked this guy up, and he went back to the UK for a while, and then like his last update was like April or May of 2020, where he was going back to France, and then just nothing beyond that.
Okay. Well, speaking of Kelsey Grammer, although we don't get to see him perform in Phone Booth, we do get to see him perform being a father. Because the whole gang, they fly to New York, courtesy of Virgin America. Really nice product placement there.
Yeah, there's a whole like, is this your first time flying? No, I actually know Richard.
I
and
know
the lady
Richard.
behind the counter is like, oh, great.
Okay.
How about that?
Like, okay.
Cool.
Just this fucking clerk who's like, fine. There is some drama at the departure gate around the Las Vegas conversation. And that will play in a little bit, but
right.
Camille gets to New York, and there's Kelsey Grammer himself in his home.
My husband wants to stay in New York City as of right now. I think he's in his honeymoon stage with the play, so give him a year. We'll see how he feels then.
How's that? So, well, we got we're incoming.
I don't know. I might have to do some pillow fighting here.
I've spent 13 years getting to know Camille in a way that others just don't. And I'm not going to pretend that, 13 years of marriage is easy all the time. It would be a little bit ridiculous to claim that we've just lived in connubial bliss all these years. It's all kind of, let's go get a drink.
I learned a lot about Camille, namely that she thinks climate change is real. And I mean, that's ridiculous.
And I can't stand for that.
There's sort of two things at play here. The first piece is, I don't know if that talking head was before or after the divorce was public information. The way that Kelsey Grammer is talking, it could very easily be one way or the other. The thing that is clear is that this is a man who has decided to leave his wife.
Yes. Very clear.
That makes this scene so bizarre because Camille also knows at this point, but they both have to play act having a relationship and being the loving parents for these children, both for the sake of the cameras and the children. And it's bizarre.
Yeah. I will say that he does seem like when he sees the kids, like he lights up in a way that is not acting necessarily in the way that he is very clearly performing his love for Camille.
Right. I was going to say he lights up in a way that he does not for his wife ever.
Yeah. It's really uncomfortable to see him kind of fake kiss. He's like,
can,
ooh, I got a new thing for the bedroom.
Yeah.
And he's like,
rough.
yes, the bedroom. The rake just hits him in the face.
Exactly.
I find this so fascinating as something that is telling a different story from what it purports to be telling. I think that was my most common experience with this show. And I'm curious if that was an experience that the rest of you had as well.
No, I was fascinated by nothing.
I would say they visited New York, and we have a scene just with Camille and Frasier. Kelsey Grammer, not Frasier.
No, it's Frasier.
It's not Frasier.
It's Frasier.
No, I'm separating them. Frasier is a good man who believes in gun control.
And has a very quirky brother, yes.
I don't know if Frasier is a good man. I just watched through the series myself, and I have some judgments to make on that doctor. Yeah.
But there's something that is very haunting about, again, bringing the kids into it, right? I don't like it. I don't like that this is happening against their consent, and it's being used to show this image of a perfect family that is clearly not the case. And so much of the joy that I got from watching the show, in between the long stretches of, oh no, my anxiety, were the moments of truth and authenticity, because all these characters are desperately trying to have moments of authenticity and of empowerment. And this scene just seems so false. Yeah. It rang so false.
You can tell that he has negotiated every time that he appears on that screen so that he can do it as little as possible.
Yes, and come off as good as possible every single time.
Right. He was trying. And I feel like at the time, even the response, at least my response, like when it was airing, was just like, why is he even doing this? Like, what was the point? Like, you want to be involved so little that like you might as well just not done it. And what you're showing is embarrassing because you clearly hate your wife.
Yeah.
And she even says it in the post show that like it was kind of his idea, that he encouraged her to do the show. And that was not the impression I got whatsoever from seeing him here.
No.
Well, he thought it would be a her thing that he would not have to deal with, and it would distract her. So he could,
because he was going to be gone anyway.
Yeah.
And of course, they're also TV producers. They produced Medium.
Right.
Just in case people don't know, they produced Medium. They know the medium from Medium.
They know the medium, the titular medium. Yes.
There's no Kane in Citizen Kane.
But before we get to the medium, we have to talk about the event that leads to that amazing dinner.
Because we need an escalation first.
When everybody gets to New York. Oh, by the way, Carl, he's still there. Just needed to point out,
Carl.
need to shout out my boy
Kissing
Carl.
people on the mouth.
He's everywhere you want to be.
He brought his red Adirondack chair. He's like, where can I set these up in this tiny apartment? Yeah, this little pineapple.
But everybody else gets to New York too. And Kyle and Camille pretty immediately relitigate the beef from Las Vegas about like, what did you say or not say about me going to Hawaii? What did you say or not say about me bringing my husband along? The beef is not really resolved. They act as if it is resolved, but it very clearly is not. And then they all go downstairs from the hotel down to Serafina, right there at the corner of 55th and Broadway. I've walked past it many, many times.
Many times.
And wouldn't you know it, the thing explodes again.
I'm so above this.
You know what? You need to get help.
Why are you just digging? Those are such mean things to say.
The conversation you guys had in the room went okay.
Yeah, but honestly, I'm going to be honest about that conversation. I really feel that, I really did hear you say what you did. I mean, you keep telling me you didn't say that.
You're still obviously thinking that I was being rude about Hawaii still.
I'm just not used to getting interrogated like that.
See, now you admit you thought that my asking about your vacation was being interrogated.
You asked me a lot of questions.
I was being nice to you. Now I'm not even going to ask you any questions, okay? Because obviously you twist everything. I don't know. We'll just
I'm not twisting anything. I'm not twisting anything.
You need to get a therapist immediately.
Because they had this moment of apology or whatever where they cleared the air, but no one conceded any ground.
Kyle says, like, I would never say, like, what's the point of going to Hawaii without Kelsey or whatever? Or, like, who'd want to hang out with you without Kelsey? Camille's like, I'm pretty sure that's what I heard.
Yeah.
But, like, okay. And that was it.
Right.
Yeah. And Kyle was like, I'm sorry you felt bad about the thing that I said, which is not the thing you say that I said.
Right.
Yes.
It's such a benefit for this show that the initial moment remains ambiguous. They can't go back to the tape and set a definitive statement and solve this problem. This will always be intractable because it's this issue of memory. Because Camille is probably right in the tone, but now she's sort of added words to what was said to her that weren't really there to convey that tone. And both of them are just going to hold on to it. They're going to do the, I'm sorry you felt that way, let's move past it, but they just can't move past it.
Well, again, and that was my biggest problem watching this. I'm just like, just move past it. Like, it's fine. It doesn't matter, but
they
does
add
because
stuff.
they don't have anything else
They add stuff.
Yeah.
They add the, like, you're insecure thing.
Yeah, then they add, like, don't be insecure about that.
Yeah.
And then it's like, how dare you call me insecure?
And it's like, she's right. It comes from insecurity, but she's also being an asshole.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
And, you know, with the additional knowledge now that the rest of the housewives at this point probably did know that the marriage wasn't going to make it. At least it was, again, if you watch the reunion, that's pretty much stated outright that everybody just kind of knew.
That they were all kind of waiting for the moment in the plot to be like, okay, this is when we're saying it.
This is basically Kyle pressing on an active, open wound.
Yeah.
And doing it pretty fucking aggressively. But again, because neither of them are able to communicate like adults, because the producers are pumping them full of alcohol, and I think probably also doing did you hear what she said about you? I heard.
Yeah,
right?
I heard some bad stuff. You can actually see, like, her makeup artist do it explicitly at one point and just say, like, Hey, did you hear what he said about you?
Right.
Like you see it happen on camera in a way I'd never seen in a reality show before.
And I guess this is one where, Jolenta, I was wondering if you could speak a little bit to like the way that fights work on these shows, the extent to which it's sort of kayfabe and expected like back and forth. We're all fighting because we know that the role of doing the show is to fight versus what happens when you break kayfabe and it actually becomes personal.
Kyle and Camille are coming from I feel like they're coming from different places where I feel like Kyle's playing the game more. She's what like watchers would now call like a producer plant, someone who very clearly goes along with what the producers want, pushes the storylines along. And I think Camille is someone who came on for like basically image control or image management or to put an image of herself out there as a certain way. So she's just trying to maintain that at all costs while Kyle's doing what she considers to be their job, which is like keep picking, keep instigating these fights.
Yeah.
Well, and to that point, there's such an interesting and telling moment that I missed the first time around, but just saw this time around when I was pulling clips for the episode, where Camille looks at Kyle and just says, I'm so bad at this.
Yeah.
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 She doesn't understand the game. Like like you said, she did this thing so she could have her own little thing, maybe not have to think too much about the dark thoughts of her husband being about to leave her, and show how great her life is in that she can kiss her tennis instructor on the mouth. And now she's being drawn into this somewhat scripted conflict.
I think there's something too about like who is good at this and who is bad at this, because this entire fight, Kim is in the background being like, I don't want to talk about this. I don't want to talk about this. And then it turns out that she had a very important conversation at Serafina too, that we just don't get to see in this initial fight.
Yeah, I didn't pull that clip of Kim and Taylor at Serafina, but that's another piece that like, another piece of the drama goes back to who said what at the airport. You know, it's pretty classic stuff. And I think the thing that's most worth noting here is that, yeah, Kim is a conflict averse person, to say the least. It is very clear that she has some sort of a history with conflict. And so she just reacts to it by being avoidant.
And that's the whole thing, is that like, had there not been 5 other housewives before this one, I would be like, yeah, I mean, she didn't know what she was getting into, but there were 5 other versions of this beforehand. Like, watch one of them, you'll know.
Yeah, it had been going for years at this point.
And instead of facing conflict, she drinks, which is an important factor that we'll get into more in the finale.
So moving on now, skipping all the way from episode 5 to episode 9.
The dinner from hell.
And it certainly is. Camille wants to have a dinner party in the hopes of sort of lowering the temperature for everyone. This is obviously from the jump not going to be the result, because this is being set up for the sake of like the tentpole episode.
Yeah, Camille is starting the episode being like, we're going to have a totally normal dinner where nothing is going to happen in particular.
We are going to bury every hatchet.
Like, it's funny that people on the internet accuse her of being conniving, and it's like, no, she's not clever enough. Like, she's trying to be conniving, but I would not even classify this as a connive. This is just harebrained.
Well, she brings her Tennessee Williams a protagonist along with her to this dinner in the form of Alison Dubois.
Oh, I love
the medium from Medium?
The very same.
The very same.
My God, yes.
The most Arizonan woman you've ever met.
Oh my God, is she ever? And Brian, you know Arizona.
I unfortunately do.
I know Arizona.
Well, but Brian really knows Arizona.
Yeah. Brian and I are the bread to the Arizona sandwich.
That's so true. What is it about
the meat?
What is it about this woman that makes her, this woman, Allison, what the fuck is her last name?
Dubois.
Sorry. She always did depend on the kindness of strangers.
She sure does.
What is it about her that is so uniquely Arizonan? Because I agree, she's got the vibe.
Yeah.
But I can't pin down
the psychic
what the thing
powers.
Is.
Psychic,
sure.
Yeah, big Arizona thing right there. Arizona white. I mean, she's also like.
I feel like the faux red hair has something to do with it.
That's got something to do with it. Entirely.
Nothing against all of my beautiful friends with faux red hair. You're
had
lovely.
like the same color faux red hair.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm not
as long as you're not from Arizona. you're fine. She is just
born and raised in Oregon. Thank God.
Let's go.
This is a real person. For people who know the show Medium, produced by the Grammars.
That's right. It is the Gramnet production.
Gramnet, yeah.
Wow. She is this lady who purports to have psychic abilities, who works with cops, and unlike Psych or its network TV equivalent, The Mentalist, the medium from Medium, Ms. Dubois, is actually a psychic. Like, this is someone who in the show solves real murders every week or whatever, and in real life is just some lady fucking lying and taking a lot of money from the Maricopa County Sheriff's Department. The most disgusting, depraved, fascist sheriff's department outside of Idaho.
So her psychic testimony is being used to convict real people.
I don't know if her testimony is being used in the court of law. In fact, it doesn't seem like she's used for much of anything.
I was going to say, I think it's been used loosely in investigations, but I don't think anything as impactful as her serialized escapades would imply.
Excuse me. She was on Oprah.
Yeah, she was on Oprah.
Yeah, lots of good cold readers.
She's like, I was studied by a scientist, and the scientist is a parapsychologist, not a real thing.
That's not a science.
And she's just me. She is like a 40 in this show. She's like 41 years old, and she acts like a 17-year-old girl in high school.
Generously.
And it's because she's definitely carrying a ton of baggage from when she was going to some horrible Arizona public school full of white kids.
I will say, after having watched this, I was like, I don't think that Patricia Arquette really captures her essence specifically.
No, Patricia Arquette cannot play that evil.
No one would buy it on an hour-long drama.
You can't root for Dubois.
Yeah, she can't be a protagonist.
And for all these people that the show, I talked about how it makes them look really bad, and then they come back and they stay on the show. She has never appeared ever again.
Well, no, because this was clearly something that was set up by the Grammars because they wanted to promote Medium, the show that they produce, and she went too hard.
She went too hard. She got really drunk.
She drank those huge drinks.
and was pulling out such turns of phrase as "they are garbage of rubies and diamonds." She's incoherent and is trying to be like, "Ooh, I'm having a psychic vision right now. It says you're a bitch." Like,
so you will be unsurprised to hear that most of the clips that I pulled for the second half of the episode were from the fight at the dinner.
God, I'm gonna kill
but before we
myself.
we're gonna go blow by blow. But before we get there,
Please,
I do need to note that there is a sidebar to Adrienne and her husband in their weird toxic relationship. And it sounds like this.
Adrienne thinks she's a lot tougher than me. She's Miss Martial Artist and Miss Boxer. I've never felt pain like that in my life.
He's got a great front kick there. It was no big deal to me. Roughhousing is just part of growing up.
What about a little neck massage or a little...
Oh, here we go.
A little TLC tonight.
Oh my God, you're gonna melt me for this one.
I can't breathe though.
My 4-year-old son was more mature than my 40-something-year-old husband.
Where's the little Ziploc bags?
He didn't do it on purpose. Let's move on.
Okay.
Such a baby.
And that's how you play Get the Guest.
Right? Like this fucking Who's Afraid of Virginia Wolf ass scene.
And I have to say, she's one of ours. She's from New Mexico originally, UNM graduate, born in Albuquerque. Yeah.
I don't want to spoil too much, but you guys know they don't make it as a couple.
Oh, wow. What a surprise.
The psychic was right.
But his nose breaks like multiple times in this.
I think he had he probably had a nose job, then it got hit
his nose doesn't
right?
look like, I mean, not to say I'm an expert on broken noses or something like that. You can have a minor fracture, you can have a major fracture. This doesn't look like he's having his nose smashed.
No, it looks like he's having his nose done.
Yeah.
But also something that I did want to note is that at the very end of the show, after episode 13, in the credit roll, there's something that says Adrienne denies any responsibility for her husband's various nose injuries.
I think they imply that they bicker so much
implying
that, they get
that
in
she
physical
punches
fights and
him.
she punches
that
him in the face.
She is a domestic abuser, which is possible?
Yeah, it's not something that the show says during the season. I do wonder if that's them.
It's just on that title card at the end.
I wonder if it's them responding to people on Twitter, because that is a big part of what they're doing.
Right.
Whatever this is, it's weird.
Yeah.
And I don't want to talk a lot about it. Now that we've talked about it, we can move on. But horrible relationship.
Right.
Yeah.
And their whole thing is like, we bicker. You love us because we bicker. And then like a season and a half later, it's like, obviously our marriage was ending. We hated each other.
Clearly.
Didn't you see how we bickered?
So, off to the dinner party, yes. Camille's fantastic dinner party. Allison, our medium, opens the ceremonies.
It's Saturday. See, I'm still young. So when Saturday hits, I get all excited. I'm like, yeah, what are we going to do, right? And that part of me still comes out. And it's a
Describing
girls'
what
night,
a Saturday
so
is. Okay.
We're not supposed to be good. We're supposed to be really, really bad in a controlled setting.
The last bonus episode of this season is just like extended scenes from this party.
Right.
And I still might today tear every square inch of skin off of my body. This was so awful. I hated it. I hated it so much. Gay men were a mistake. They never should have been allowed to make television. They should have stuck to fashion design and Broadway and not been allowed to branch out at all. At all.
What about podcasts?
Mm-mm.
Oh.
No.
Do we have to discontinue?
This whole endeavor
Is
was
it over?
over.
Do we have to cancel the podcast
Yes.
now?
Yeah.
Fuck.
I will say, to agree with Brian a little bit,
about how
during
gay
the
men
fight
are a mistake.
sequences,
Yeah.
yes,
right.
Put that on my tombstone. But I think that there's something that activates a very particular part of anxiety for me, which is why I don't think I'm gonna partake too much in the Housewives universe, because when they fight, I get so anxious because everyone is talking at once and I can't focus on what's happening.
You and Kim Richards have that in common.
Yeah, no, I can. That's why I glommed onto her.
And then you
like
add a bunch of
fucking
sound effects
tick.
and fucking plucked violins and shit.
Yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot of stimuli all happening at once, and it's also everyone is saying the same thing just over and over again, and it feels like watching bad improv a lot of the time.
Yes. I mean, it's ostensibly what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
And I understand the appeal for people. Like, I do understand how it's fun to watch this for some people. It just doesn't. It makes me even talking about it now, I'm feeling like a little bit of anxiety rise.
Yeah.
But
this is so funny. Like, I'm gonna take my friend, who I believe is a real psychic, and then she's gonna tell all of the mean people exactly when they're gonna die.
She's gonna punish them with psychic abilities because they were mean to me.
And when she tells them how they're going to die, she looks like she's not even there.
Yeah.
Like she
Well, yeah,
does
'cause she's
look like
channeling
an absolute
spirit.
psychopath.
Yeah.
That's right.
No, but it's not even that.
No,
Like there's not
psychic,
even like
AJ,
look,
psychic.
I have worked with mentalists before. I know what the shtick is.
Right.
in
No,
order to
she's
get
not
you
the
to believe that they're
mentalist. She's the
communicating.
medium from Mediumist. Mentalist is a different show.
He's a guy. But no, I know what the tricks are, right? I know what the thing is. And she is just, even though she's
not
like
even good
blackout
at it.
drunk or whatever. Yeah, no, she's just like, hey, your husband's gonna leave you and you'll be alone forever. And I mean, they do get divorced later.
I mean, I have to say, what she says about Kyle is eerily true.
It does end up being true. Yeah.
In that her husband will never emotionally fulfill her. She then, like, she may now be entering a late in life lesbian phase.
Right. Well, let's just listen to the reading, shall we? This is clip 13.
Something that's not scary? Yeah. Oh my God, but what I want to tell you might be irritating to you, so I so hesitate.
Just say it. Just say it.
Okay.
It's fine.
Okay. Have you been married twice?
No.
Oh. Well, then that's the last one you have. I guess that's good news. I was thinking she was going to have to get married again, which meaning you'd have a divorce.
If my husband ever leaves me, I'm going with him.
He will never emotionally fulfill you, ever. Know that.
Know
as soon as the kids are bigger.
Know that.
You have
Know
nothing
that.
in common.
As soon as the kids got bigger, they did have nothing in common.
I do love the.
But that's also a pretty common thing.
I was gonna say, it's like you're
also happened to my parents.
and you're predicting like the lives of Beverly Hills housewives. Like, this is not a difficult.
Yeah, you're gonna have more than one husband. You're going to live in a big house. It's really sunny most of the year.
You might have some cosmetic surgery.
Right.
Oh, they won't classify it as that. Apparently fillers and Botox are not plastic surgery.
That is not plastic surgery.
No, it's not. I should also note, getting to the point of the reading, there's some more sniping going on between Camille and Kyle's guest. And I just want to play that clip as well.
So now, how do you know Faye? Who is Faye? I know she looks familiar, but I don't know who Faye is.
She's a very close family friend. I consider her like a sister.
Oh, that's nice. You know how I know her? I saw her naked in Playboy. That's how I know Faye.
Oh, Faye. I just really...
That's Kim.
She just opened up a magazine last week and happened to see it.
She posed naked in Playboy after the OJ trial. That's her.
She's so bad at this.
Oh, wait,
I don't
whole
know if it was
bio.
a calculated sentence on Camille's part. I find Camille difficult to read, but I do know, as the host of a dinner party, I wouldn't have said it.
And I thought you looked amazing.
Thank you.
I recognized during the dinner, it was the hair. I think it's the extensions and the blown up fake lips. But, and then I realized, oh my God, that's who it is. It's Faye Resnick. The morally corrupt Faye Resnick.
Yes.
This is all just so, one person who has also posed for Playboy calling out someone else who did it around the same time. What?
Yeah, Camille, who's opposed posed in Playboy.
Who did softcore, why?
Who did a Skinamax video film.
Why is this a
is
problem?
The morally corrupt Faye Resnick, which is one of the more
It's a
infamous
classic.
Housewives.
It is a great line.
And Faye Resnick was kind of an infamous figure during the OJ trial because she was a personal friend of Nicole Brown, who then sold a book, wrote this paperback, this trashy tabloid paperback type thing that was a big deal in the 90s, basically making any kind of testimony that she could have given in trial void.
Here's what I will say. I did not know who Faye was, and I genuinely thought that Camille designated time by before and after the OJ trial.
Like pre-COVID.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
That was
the turning point of her life, and that we were now living in
this happened a month ago.
AOJ,
it's the post OJ. We're still in the post OJ trial.
Oh my gosh, that's so good.
That's really funny.
I think even the Playboy was almost not promotional for the book, but kind of.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely
coincided with the press push about it, and it's it
was here's the woman you know as being Nicole Brown's friend in this whole fucking thing. Yeah.
So the dinner goes on, and things in this house of horrors continue to deteriorate.
Just also, the drinks are huge.
They're soup bowls.
Comically large martini
and they're
glasses.
disgusting looking.
They're
it looks like pond water dyed red.
They did
something.
they were we'll have some bright red liquid and some bright green liquid and mix it. It's that's just brown now.
You know what it looks like?
It's the old tadpole swimming around.
It looks like those fucking drinks they made at the Pirate Bar in Bar Rescue.
Yeah, it looks like grog.
It does sort of.
Camille, I was having a conversation with you.
Washed up.
Wait a
Enjoy
second.
your life.
I came here bringing Allison because Allison's for interesting conversation. It was
Allison's for interesting conversation.
I was going to talk to her about it because she's not off the clock.
You're not hiring me. I'm a dinner guest.
Excuse me, all of a sudden I hear she did Playboy, she did this, she did this. She brought up all of these things that I didn't want to hear.
I have books written on me and by me, and a television show is based on my life. So you can just take a flying leap.
I think the psychic was way more provocative than anybody at the table. She's not a psychic that I would feel, oh yeah, I'm going to open my heart to. No, absolutely not. She definitely was starting to piss me off.
I hate siding with Lisa.
I know.
Because for so much of it, she's such a monster. But I think that's sort of the nature of watching these reality TV shows. Like, you will always be on one person's side, and in the next episode be like, oh, son of a bitch, don't do this.
Like, why'd I buy it?
Yeah, please don't drink the pond water,
Actually,
please.
here's one, Jolenta. Who of the 6 is your favorite in season 1?
I mean, I feel like I really loved Kim. But I don't know if that's a rewatch me, or you could just feel how damaged she was.
Yeah.
No matter what she was doing, that came across, and I like wanted to watch and protect her at the same time.
Well, that even happens in this very episode, because then the Taylor Kim thing blows up again. And Taylor starts yelling at Kim, and she's like, what did I do?
Yeah.
Here's my horrible admission. The person who is that for me is Camille.
I'm kind of with you, Brian.
So bad for her with Kelsey and everything.
I feel bad for her too.
Because this all started with Kyle actually being mean to her, right?
Yes.
It is true that she was shading her at the very beginning. There's
Absolutely.
no ambiguity about that whatsoever. Regardless of how it's kind of twisted over time and retelling of it, it's like, no, people were being shitty to her. Kelsey Grammer sounds like a real handful. I have sympathy. I have sympathy for anyone who crosses paths with Kelsey Grammer. I think.
Right. Well, and it sounds like she devoted like the majority of their marriage to like keeping him sober.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
Not to mention that she was also completely enmeshed in his business affairs.
Right.
Yeah,
totally.
Right.
She produced Medium with her good friend, the Medium from Medium.
But here's the thing, like that was a moneymaker, right? That ran for
was
a
like
long time.
6 or
like,
7
major
seasons.
show,
Yeah. There's one of the deleted clips that does show up is Lisa Vanderpump, because she's like, oh, I should see it. And then it cuts to a talking head with her where she's like, and it was canceled.
After having like reached the point of everybody just screaming at each other, right? Eventually they just go outside. It becomes too much. Camille quite possibly turns on the underground sprinklers to get everyone to leave, which I thought was a queen move.
That was
frankly.
really good. That was a genuine laugh out loud moment.
They're filming the sort of aftermath of like, can you believe all this? And she's like, no, not in my yard.
Yeah, shut up, go home.
not in my driveway.
Well, but the sprinklers turn on, and then I think Lisa says, oh, it was the psychic.
Yes.
And I was like, yes, Lisa. Yes.
And to the point of the psychic, I mean, she's blackout at the end of this. You can tell her she's the kind
So
of drunk
gone.
where she won't even remember what she said.
And she's doing this thing where she's describing the other women after that they have left, but she's actually just talking about herself. She's like, oh yeah, these are the kind of girls that would bully someone into killing themselves. And it's like, that's you.
Right. It was like, that's you.
I've got the clip actually.
Kyle's a little bitch. She's a little bitch. She is. She's the ringleader. She's all, yep. Kyle was every girl at a high school that made somebody kill themselves. She's that. She's that girl that's so mean and profoundly bankrupt.
Yeah, no, I think she's morally bankrupt.
I almost shoved this up her f***ing ass just to prove a point.
Her e-cigarette.
Except
Her e-cig
I think
that she's
she
been
need a bigger
vaping with,
one
yeah.
than this to even feel it. Oh yeah, I went there.
You don't want to go there
Camille
anymore.
trying to be like, stop.
Girl, bitch is a one-syllable word for a reason. It's all they understand.
What does that mean? What is that?
She does deliver one of my favorite lines, which is, I can tell you when she will die and what will happen to her family, and I love that about me.
I love that about me.
Like,
You know.
so out of pocket. Like,
I genuinely will never get along with anyone who said, "Oh yeah, I went there." It is a phrase that makes me cry up on the inside.
It's a very profoundly Reddit thing to say. It's like oh well, okay, that just happened.
She is that. I love that about me is just how she thinks about everything in her life. She's just like, man, I'm so fucking cool. I really hope that there is a Medium episode where this happens. That's just a recreation of this actual event from her life.
And here's the thing that I'm going to say about this, right? This to me is just trash TV at its absolute best. Real Housewives fans all know this dinner party, quoted extensively. It's so fucking good, But of course, it's also the result of the producers having put a lot of different pieces into place to get these people to be mad at each other and then loading them the fuck up on alcohol.
Yeah.
So what does this tell us about the ethics of this stuff more broadly? Other than that, it's bad, which it is.
I feel like in a way they tried to cover themselves and be like, you guys each can bring a friend.
Right.
That's just as combative as you, if not more so.
Right.
And that will be your backup. So then we're off the hook on like how drunk we're going to get you, or, you know, how we're going to like rile you up in your little like asides with producers.
And it's like bringing a second to a duel, right? Like it really feels we are in Weehawken. But like
we got like a Playboy posing memoirist and a psychic.
And the medium from Medium. Incredible.
The medium from Medium.
Yeah, and then there's also like, is it Dee Dee or BB is also
Dee Dee.
there? Dee Dee is also there. And she's like kind of just like, I think she's the audience surrogate who's just like taking in the carnage and like gleefully laughing at everything. Like there's so many dynamics that make this lightning in a bottle for me. This very particular dinner scene. And you're right, Josh, it is very enjoyable, but I don't know. I don't feel as bad watching this because everyone consented to this.
Right. I was going to say there aren't kids that are getting yelled at or about or like, so like I feel
and it's not
kind
like
of okay.
Like her big plan was like, I'm going to get the psychic and she's going to destroy their minds with the shit she pulls out.
Right.
And it's just the stupidest. Like,
Yes.
your husband's going to leave you. I know when you're going to die, but I'm not going to tell you. Fuck it. I'm drunk as fuck. Like, it's so dumb. The stakes
they don't even get to eat the
like
pizza.
the stakes haven't really been raised. It's not like the ugliness that came before or the ugliness that's going to come after. It's just stupid.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous.
Also just the visual, because this is the thing that you also can't see, right? You're listening to this. You can't see all of the things that make this so wonderful to look at, like the huge stupid drinks and the gigantic glasses, or the stupid fucking e-cigarette that she keeps vaping.
The most like generic.
It's like a mustache twirling villain vibe of like, ooh, like it's ridiculous.
She thought she came off so well, which
oh my god, she did.
Classic.
She thought, she ate that whole
classic cop psychic move right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, classic cop psychic move. And then someone says that she looks like Jack Nicholson in The Shining, and I'm like, what part of The Shining?
When?
Well, just
what do you mean?
Insofar as she's
where in
evil.
The Shining, like he's a bitch at dinner.
I forgot about.
Listen, I know when you're gonna die, but I'm not gonna tell you.
Yeah, maybe she came back from the bathroom and it's like, my friend Grady told me some things about you and included a lot of racial slurs.
So with that said, that's I think you said a lightning in a bottle, right, AJ? And I think everything they have tried time and time again to recapture this lightning in a bottle, and they just never will.
Like, is there anything from before this season on the other Housewives shows that lives up to this kind of this season?
There are a few other moments. I don't know if I would have to look it up. I don't know if they came before or after, but there's a trip they go on in New York that we have dubbed Scary Island, where former model Kelly Ben-Simone basically has like a mental breakdown and thinks Bethany Frankel is like out to get her. And they like, and Bethany's like screaming at her like, go to sleep. And
that was 2010.
And it's another one of these like lightning
in
a bottle moments where it's like, what is happening? And like they can never recreate the sort of chaos and, possibly alcohol or drug fueled riotous behavior.
We'll move now on from episode 9 to episode 13. This is the final episode of the season, not counting the 2-part reunion with Andy Cohen, the outtakes, and of course the extended edit of the dinner scene.
It really makes it worse. Like, I don't think there's a whole lot that you gain from it other than Lisa Vanderpump saying it was canceled. But like the editing is part of what makes that episode as watchable as it is by just removing all the repetition and everything.
Right. Because they're just doing the same thing over and over and over again, I'm sure, right?
Because they're drunk. They're drunk on
it's how real life arguments work, right? You just kind of keep beating the same thing over and over and over.
Everyone
again.
keeps hitting the same note.
So we're moving on now to episode 13, which is titled Unforgivable. There's a few things that happen in between, but again, not a lot of note. It moves pretty seamlessly, I think, here.
Yeah, they have this point where basically Kelsey called Camille on the phone, or this is when they've decided they're going to tell the producers. And it's like, oh yeah, there's a phone call where Kelsey says, I think I want the marriage to end. And she convinces him to at least let her come to the Tony Awards to see if they can save it, which seems less like what they're actually doing and more just that they're keeping up the illusion until it's finally broken off.
And it's also like when she goes to New York the first time around, when she goes into Kelsey Grammer's dressing room, it is harrowing. He wants her to be out as soon as fucking possible. And
because he has to get ready.
I mean, that's a big piece of it, right? It's just that, like, you know, having a camera in your dressing room is fucking annoying, but it's very clear that he doesn't want her there either. Anyway, Camille makes it back to New York for the Tony Awards. It is now going to be Tony evening. It's the Tony Awards, only CBS. And we hear how Camille feels about the fact that the relationship is ending.
It's almost like, you know, it's the death of a relative or a loved one. I mean, this loss, this profound loss, this intense feeling of, you know, loneliness. I hope you win.
I've won already. Just the night and everything.
Okay,
It's like winning.
I thought he was going to say me he won already, because he has me in his life, but...
Yes.
2 seconds. Thank you.
These are all true things as well. I'm just...
It's a much different scenario when you're married to a celebrity, because when you get divorced, it's like it's not a private divorce. The world knows.
All right, so we'll see you guys at the seats.
Yes, we're
sitting right next to you. All right, great.
I thought this would be a good, positive thing for him to go do a play that, you know, on Broadway. Hello.
Hi, how's it going? Hi.
But I never thought that he would leave me.
Yeah, it's hard because that's a very real emotion that she's showing here. And she's going through a really hard time while Kelsey Grammer looks like Jack Nicholson in The Shining. He's wearing the sunglasses in the limo.
Yeah, in the limo, he looks
I like that insight that she has. It's like someone has just died because she has to keep pretending that this is a real marriage so that they can do that. Because you don't want it in the tabloids to be like Kelsey Grammer shows up to the Tony Awards with a flight attendant. So they're playing this game all the while knowing it's just like already over. And it's like, yeah, someone else has died and I haven't been able to get the plane tickets and go and, you know, do the funeral and everything like that. We're just sort of having all of this tension buzz around us. And also there's a camera on me the whole time.
Yeah, and the hardest thing for me in this entire episode is that she goes up to the concierge and says, I'm Mrs. Grammer, and they say, no, you're not.
Yeah, at the building where
And
Kelsey's living.
Jesus Christ, man, that's so fucked up.
I can understand how that is a line that is so far crossed at that point, as like he has had someone who has been there for a while.
Yeah.
For so long that they're like, that's his wife or whatever.
Yeah, and for security reasons, we can't let you through because we, you know, so many people come in here claiming to be. I mean, are there a lot of people claiming to be Kelsey Grammer's wife? I don't know, maybe at least some. But like, you know, just
the
in
fact
case.
that he didn't even have the level of courtesy to go to the concierge and be like, my actual wife is coming tonight.
Right. Put her name on the list.
Yeah, put her name on the list. And also, the word.
And that's the thing.
Yeah.
He probably wanted her to feel bad.
Yeah.
This goes back to the thing of like, Camille can't do this. She can't do the performance of sort of this alternate reality. It's so clear. The cracks always show. And that's what I think is so interesting about her throughout this entire season.
It's heavy. And you know what? Here's the thing. Kelsey Grammer doesn't win the Tony.
Yep, he doesn't win.
So that's actually pretty much a season wrap on Camille.
That's a wrap on Camille.
She does return for season 2. And she definitely seems more like a real person in season 2 because she doesn't have to perform this weird thing anymore.
Yeah.
She's not like doing a commercial for the Kelsey Grammer lifestyle.
Exactly.
Horrible lifestyle.
But back in Beverly Hills, we are building now to the big event. And we had mentioned this actually, I think in the first half, that Taylor has a birthday party for her. The whole top half of this episode, once we get out of New York, is preparation for that party, right? And we get Lisa talking to Taylor about what happened in the conversation between her and Kim that led to the big blowout. Again, that piece has to stay in the mix so that we can have drama here in the finale. Kim gets a makeover so that she'll look good for the party. There's a really interesting moment here where she does a talking head about like the things that Kyle doesn't remember or appreciate about her. The thing about these talking heads is that they're shot after the action, right? So it's filling story in. And I don't know, I found that very interesting because, again, that's something that's going to contribute to what happens at the end. The party begins. Kim shows up. She's fucking drunk. She's getting drunker. Russell, the horrible husband who will die very, very soon, unbeknownst to anyone, gives a really shitty fucking speech.
He says he's looking forward to next year, and it's like, well,
I got bad news for you,
It's not going to go well.
I'm surprised that the medium from Medium couldn't have predicted that one.
I know, such a shame. The big sort of moment that leads to the crux of the action that takes us out of this episode, the big final conflict of the season. Lisa encourages Taylor to be honest with herself about her whole thing, all of the emotions and feelings that she has. And that honesty, Taylor's desire to experience cathartic, the honesty catharsis, basically, she goes and has a heart-to-heart with Kim, which is a huge fucking mistake.
Lisa started asking me about how I all of a sudden got involved in this whole altercation with Camille and Kyle. And I really feel like it only had to do with you kind of like trying to wind me up in LAX. And, you know, I just want to kind of get that off my chest because I had nothing to do with it. And like you had all the opportunity in the world to stop what was happening between Camille and Kyle. And instead it went on and on and on and on. And I really feel like I shouldn't have been dragged into it.
I feel like none of you could let it die.
None of who?
None of you. My sister was upset, everybody was tired, and everybody
But you didn't do anything to stop it. And your sister was tired and she was crying. And you were making matters worse.
I did do something to stop it. I held my sister, I took her aside, and every one of you...
Wait a minute, you held your sister when? Because Lisa's the one that took your sister out of there.
I'm going to tell you something. Every one of you, like, stirred up a little commotion.
Jolenta, can you dramaturg this moment for us? Like, what all is happening here? Because this is a rich text.
For us, please.
So a lot of this goes back to when they were fighting at Serafina. They turned to Kim and were like, Kim, you were there. You could clear this up. What did your sister say? And Kim will not engage. As you guys said earlier, she's super avoidant. So she just shuts down and doesn't add to it. This is unclear because it seems like Taylor's mad at Kim for getting her upset about Camille and Kyle fighting about, like, did you say who would care about you if Kelsey's there or not? And Kim could have helped the situation by saying what she actually heard her sister say, which she won't do. Because even if her sister didn't say exactly that, she was being, like, you know, a little bitchy to Camille.
Well, I think it comes from a place of her wanting to protect her sister.
Right. And I would say, I think she thinks saying nothing will help.
Exactly.
And then she also mentions, like, well, Taylor said, like, she was being insecure and drags Taylor into it and be mad at Taylor. Like, she said it was your problems with your insecurity and you're saying you're not insecure. So it's Taylor's fault. So Taylor's mad that she was brought into this as a contributor to the conflict.
And it feels to be like, from her perspective, it's the sort of thing where, like, she now has this weird thing hanging over her head on her birthday, which is supposed to be a good time. And she's sort of misplacing her feelings, which are mostly to do with how much she fucking hates her husband, into this situation instead, because she needs something that she can control.
And it's a lot easier to beat up on, like, old sad eyes than your abusive, controlling husband.
Exactly.
Yes, especially when she's blackout drunk.
Right, when she's already in a state, and you can be like, actually, I'm going to have a confrontation scene that that producers are encouraging me to have anyway.
They're at, like, this is the end of our time shooting these women. Like, we need something to come out of this. So let's get Lisa to do this. Let's get Taylor to do this. Let's, you know, like, get everyone talking about the old problem, because unfortunately we don't have Camille here to to make it work. We have to find all of the other threads where people were talking off to the side about that central problem and then say, oh, actually, it's been your fault the whole time.
Yeah, actually, you made it worse.
Yeah. And of course, for Kim, hearing you made it worse, it's your fault is probably the single most panic-inducing thing she can possibly hear because of how she is. And she actually just melts down completely, leaves the party, goes into a limo, and the guy who she got put up for a date with earlier in the season is also in the limo for some reason.
Yeah, it's Adrian. Isn't it Adrian and her husband and this guy?
Not Adrian's husband, just Adrian.
Oh, no, just Adrian.
And is Adrian this guy?
Yes.
And you know who the driver was? Carl.
No.
I wish.
No.
I wish. But Adrian here's...
So is this going to happen or what?
She's doing her
Come on,
level
guys.
best to lower the temperature on the situation. But Kim is blackout and getting even drunker. She is continuing to drink in the limousine.
Yeah.
And then Kyle gets into the limo. This clip is 2 minutes long, and we're going to listen to the whole thing.
I've always had your back. No, you have not, Kim. No, you have not. I don't think you want to go there right now. You've not had me back, and you know that. I took care of my whole family growing up. I mean, I bought her first car, bought our home. You know, I did it all. Oh my God, you're embarrassing. I'm embarrassing? Really? I'm the one who's sick of being embarrassed and defending you. Well, don't. Well, maybe I won't anymore. You are unbelievable. Gosh, Kyle. Look at you, f***ing phony. I'm the farthest from that, okay? You need to get help. What are you doing with this whole thing in here like this? What are you doing? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And Mom had to die worrying about you and stressing about you and leave this on my shoulders. After everything that I have done for you, everything I've done for you, I'm always there for you. Everything you've done for me? Yeah, everything I've done for you. You stole my goddamn house! Listen. Did you hear what you just said, Kim? Oh, you out of your f***ing mind? You are so sick. Did you hear what you just said? My husband has helped you every month and stood by you and taken care of you, okay? Like you're a second f***ing wife. So f*** you for talking like that. You're a liar. You better f***ing take that back right now. You better Stop right now. Stop it. You are a liar and sick and an alcoholic. Stop. Okay? You are an alcoholic. Yes, that's right. God. That's right. I've said it now and everybody knows. So get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of here. Quiet. Drink. Kim, you quiet. Stop it. Stop it. Get out of here. Get up. You are so demented. You will not believe what she has just said and done. Kim, I want you to know something right now. Anything we've ever helped you with is over. You're on your own now. We're done.
Boof.
I don't really have words for this.
It's sisters fight, and it's some of the most vicious fighting. You know, I feel like there's so much real shit here that has just not been commented on this entire season up until this point. And so the revelations...
And probably in their lives as well, I would imagine. Right. I imagine these are things that they have not had out with each other.
Yeah, like lifetimes worth of grudges and unspoken things are coming out.
You stole my house.
You stole my house. I don't know if you guys looked up the story about that. Apparently, the family had a house in Palm Springs. Oh, the mom did, and then they each got a portion of it when their mom died. And I believe as a favor to Kim, Kyle and Maurizio bought out Kim's portion of the house. Oh, is this the house that
they go to earlier in the season?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so, yeah. And so they bought out Kim's portion of the house when she needed some money.
Sure.
And then I feel like eventually they sold it. And so then she felt like they really
they didn't compensate her from the portion of the proceeds.
Yeah. And here I am being like, all this season, I've just craved like authentic, real drama.
You got it.
Right?
How does it feel?
And then I got it. I'm like, well, not like that.
And it's like, and you really remember their sisters because like Kyle starts physically going at her in a way that like usually adult women are not doing. And it's like, they're these boundaries aren't there because they grew up together.
It's harrowing. And the last image that we see is of the season is Kim sobbing in the back of a limo. And I'm like, this is what you want to leave people with?
Well,
like,
no,
we have all
because there's always the
post-season
shows, which are still basically part of the regular season.
Sure. Right. Because the reunions are important.
Yeah, now we'll hand it over to Andy Cohen, who's going to be like, so you said you're not going to talk about what happened in that argument because there's a lot of personal stuff in there. How about I poke you? How about I dig into some of those personal things?
Dude, he's a fucking monster.
He is.
He's awful.
And especially in the early years, he would always start the reunions with like, so how much work have you guys done?
Yeah.
Like, had done yourselves. Tell me about how ugly you used to be and what you fixed.
Let's get Jiminy Glick just to replace Andy Cohen. Let's get him in there.
When you said she stole your house, what did that mean?
I wanted to take a step back here, though, and ask sort of a bigger picture question because, this is what we end on. This story ultimately ends up being a tragedy. A tragedy of two sisters that is framed within a story of a marriage that is falling apart. And again, this is the way that it works with this stuff is you have to find stories retroactively. And there are ways where like we don't find they are not able to put together the connective tissue for some of this shit because it's not there. Yeah. But it nevertheless, in my opinion, and certainly not in Brian's opinion, manages to be a pretty compelling story.
And they managed to pepper a bit in. I noticed on this rewatch that they do have instances of, like, Kyle mentions a couple times before her breakdown scene that, you know, her mom made her promise to take care of Kim and the whole family.
Right.
And Kim mentions a couple times, like, Kyle doesn't understand. Sometimes the reason she needs help doing regular everyday activities is because she was the one that was working throughout her whole childhood that wasn't taught how to take care of herself. Yeah. She was too busy making sure, like, the family could make their house payments and stuff. So it's, you know, they drop little hints, but then it just, like, completely unravels and explodes in this unexpected way.
Yeah, and I think so much of this show is just watching them run errands that when the emotional stuff hits like this, it can feel out of left field, and it does feel like a completely different show. Yeah. It feels more like watching Cops is like the closest thing, because it is just a bunch of people drunkenly fighting each other. And I don't know, the whiplash of that for me can be a lot, particularly because I think they all have terrible taste. And it's, like, it's a lot of like watching people attend parties at like your tackiest friend's wedding.
They master a formula that like other reality shows couldn't get. Because I watched a lot of like Newlyweds when I was a kid because my sister was really into it. And that is a lot of people running errands. And then that's pretty much it. And then Jessica Simpson will say something like, is this tuna actually chicken? And it's like, oh, isn't she so stupid? And then like there's no conflict. Nothing else happens. She just goes and gets LASIK in the next episode or whatever. And then the other show that my sister really liked that I watched sort of, the secondhand smoke from whatever my sister's TV habits were, was The Hills, which always was bringing in conflict. But that whole show was just like total kayfabe. To the point where they even like wink at it in the final credits of the finale of the show by having one character drive away while the other is like waving goodbye, and then they roll the backdrop that's behind her away, and then we were like looking down at a studio lot, like, and that never reaches this kind of fever pitch. That's always kind of comedy of manners kind of stuff. This is, you know, people smacking each other around and getting absolutely wasted.
These lives are being ruined.
Yeah. Well, and it becomes sort of being about like, can we see through the facade that they are spending a fuck ton of money to put up and maintain, or can we not? And do we get these breaks in it or do we not? And like we do, and we really like it.
And I don't understand the personality type that agrees to do this show. I do not at all get.
Andy Cohen even talks about this, where he's like, I understand people who like want to get out of their marriage, but people who don't like people whose marriage is in a somewhat precarious position or are doing anything like unethical in their business, the hubris to be like, oh, I can be on display and like no one will notice this, or this won't get picked apart.
Different.
Yeah. It's like it takes a special person.
I do understand that like there's that old tweet about how like having a lot of money is like cognitively equivalent to getting kicked in the head by a mule every single day.
Right.
And like it's got to be that too. They just don't realize how bad they look.
Even though in some cases the money isn't actually there at all, right?
And they're not necessarily getting that much directly from the show either.
Right. The only point is to accumulate fame and influence, I guess.
Well, speaking of fame and influence, Jolenta, thank you for lending us yours today.
Oh my gosh.
By coming on the show and lending your subject matter expert to us. If people want more from you, if they want to listen to your podcast, per se, where can they go?
You can find me anywhere you listen to podcasts, Hot Mess-Terpiece Theatre, and on Instagram at Hot Mess-Terpiece Pod. Try to keep the combo going there. Have some fun on Instagram, you know.
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll put links down in the notes. Make sure to go check it out. If you like, I mean, obviously, if you listen to this show, you really like thinking about narratives. Yeah. And one thing that I really like about your show, Jolenta, is that you are similarly obsessed with like narrative structure, what it means to look at this, not as just a piece of like a pop culture trifle, but like honest to goodness drama.
Yeah, like if you want to know the connection that Real Housewives has with the myth of Persephone, this is where you go.
Yeah.
Obvi. And also, if you are listening to our show for the first time, thank you so much. We do episodes every week where we talk about different media. If you are interested in hearing us talk about more reality shows, we did mention the episode about Bar Rescue. I might recommend starting there. But we got plenty more in the back catalog. We also have a Patreon, patreon.com/worstofall, where you can access our bonus episodes. Those are premium. We do them every other week, and they're full-length episodes, just like this one. So go check that out.
That great one on Bourdain.
Oh, yeah, the Bourdain episode. That was a good one, too. But go check it out. I think you'll find a lot to like there.
So on the show, as I mentioned before, all the housewives talk about authenticity or looking to become their most empowered selves. But I would argue that none of that really means anything because they can't live authentic lives when there's a camera crew that actively needs them to fight to make a good television, right? When you turn your life into art, it requires you to give away some part of your humanity. And when I watch these housewives and the horrible men that they're married to, it's a lot of people who have given up their humanity one bit at a time until they can reduce themselves down to catchphrases. They don't want for anything, so all they do is latch on to these petty dramas. And for some people, that's enough. For me, it doesn't necessarily entirely enthrall me, but I do see the appeal. Because when you are manufacturing your life, you can end up with a result that is equal parts enthralling, boring, harrowing, and just some really good drama, my friends. I am the worst of all possible AJs.
I'm the worst of all possible Bryans.
And I'm the worst of all possible Joshes. See you next week.